fools. I have been, and always shall be, your friend.
Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic evening. I don't know if you guys have seen Superman or not. I did my live out of theater reaction live stream, so that is up on the channel. It is heavy on spoilers. We're not going to get too deep into spoilers tonight. As you know, it's usually Nostalgic Nirvana on Thursdays, but with all of the Superman-ness going around, I thought that it would be interesting to sort of look at the box office projections for the opening weekend for the reboot, the third reboot in 2 decades of DC's. Are we calling it a unit? Like, I know he's calling it the DCU, not the DCEU, but I mean, in reality, this is a reboot for Warner Brothers again. This is like their third one in 2 decades, and they're doing it on the back of Superman. So it should be a no. I mean, he's the Man of Steel. He should be able, if anybody should be able to carry this reboot, this universe, this company, it should be Superman, right? Man of Steel, especially with Batman and Wonder Woman. And love it or hate it, Jason Momoa's Aquaman made $1 billion. Aquaman 2 obviously didn't. It flopped. That was after a lot of bad blood from the other DC films. I actually enjoyed Aquaman 2 to a degree. I wish they had simply just recast Mera, and I wish that they had focused more on the Lost Kingdom aspect of it rather than like the buddy in Aquaman 2, but that's neither here nor there because we got a reboot. We got another reboot of the entire universe, except for all of the holdovers that James Gunn is keeping for his current universe. But I digress. In my review, I state this, and I also have a video that should be out tomorrow covering this, but I'm going to try and stay away from spoilers because I know not everybody has seen it. If you want every single spoiler that I could remember based off of my notes, that is in the live stream that I did a couple days ago when I got to see an early screening, and those are there, and there will be some spoilers in the video, but I'm also going to try and keep those to a minimum and focus more on storytelling and plot. And speaking of notes and, holes and all that good stuff, we have a special guest tonight, somebody who I know you all love and adore just as much as James Gunn, hopefully more. Maza, what's going on?
How's Batman?
I hate you. First of all, I really hope that Matt Reeves' Batman 2 is a solid. I mean, it needs to be a Penguin level of production. Batman 2 needs to be the level of the Penguin because you have not seen Superman, right?
No, I have not. Only problem is that sorry?
You gonna?
It looks like shit.
That is your face is the quintessential face that I have been seeing. I'm not even kidding. It's not good.
I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm gonna go watch the Predator movie later this year, Predator Badlands. That looks like shit, but I have more faith in that film than I do in Superman. And the Predator Badlands looks like shit. It looks like they're trying to make Predator into Star Wars, and it looks fucking horrendous, right? It's another attempt at making the Alien universe into that. Yeah.
Did you see what David Cornsweet said? That came out in Vanity Fair today. We have so much to talk about tonight. It's actually kind of devastating. But let me ask you this: if you got to play Superman, and somebody asked you would you rather play Superman again, or would you rather play a different character in a different IP? What would you say? Like, not completely unrelated to DC. Like, it's okay. So if somebody came to you and was like, "Hey, would you rather return as Superman in an upcoming film, or would you rather play this other type of character in this other well-established IP?"
Just because of how it's going, probably I'd give my chances to a different company. I'll be honest. As much as I love Superman,
they're not doing him justice, though. There is no truth, there is no justice, and there is no American way. I will say that much. You would be agreeing with David Cornsweet, because he stated that when Vanity Fair, this interview just dropped, when they asked him, would you rather return as Superman or play a Jedi in Star Wars, he said Jedi Knight.
Oh, I wouldn't say Jedi Knight. I would have been like, yeah, no, fuck that. No, I'd rather be Superman. I have more faith in a fucking mid Superman film than fucking Star Wars. No. I'd rather. What the fuck? Nah. No. I'd rather go in the bin. I'd rather go in the bin. I like sit in the bin than play as a Jedi.
But he would rather be a Jedi Knight in Star Wars than pick the cape back up. He's only been in one film.
How bad was it? How bad was his experience?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the really devastating thing, the really truly devastating thing is that you fired Henry Cavill, who most fans wanted back. Okay? So you fired Henry Cavill because, you know, like, oh, we want to go with somebody younger. David Cornsweet is the same age as Henry Cavill. He's like 3 years younger than Henry Cavill. So, like, we're splitting hair. Like, if you're within 5 years younger or older of somebody, that is not enough of a difference. You know what I mean? If you were saying we're going with a younger Clark Kent, a younger
I'd run
Superman,
like 10.
I'm thinking like, okay, so if Cavill is 39, I'm thinking somebody who's like 25, 24. Younger, like actually younger, wet behind the ears, fresh out of Smallville, Kansas. Like, that's what I'm thinking. But then Gunn said, well, that's not true. So this is the other problem with this film. Gunn has lied so much during the marketing of this campaign that nobody trusts him at all.
Yeah. The trailers have been awful. Like, each trailer got worse and worse. I hated the first trailer. And then each trailer got worse and worse and made it look more mucky. Like, it was just gonna be...
Yep. The film is very mucky. Again, without spoilers, it moves at a breakneck pace, and it's so that you can't actually sit and marinate on anything that has happened, because when you do,
too quick.
You realize this movie is crap. The writing is crap. Like, I said this in my out of the theater reaction. I am getting very sick and tired. This seems to be, I said this about Brandon Roth's Superman, I said it about Cavill's Superman, and now I'm saying it about Cornsweet's Superman. All three of those men have the potential to represent, to literally embody Superman. They just aren't given a script or a film to do it in. And I'm getting so sick of saying that, because you can see these glimmers where Cornsweet really could have shined, and really, like, it was right there, and then it gets undercut by that Gunn humor. If you could tell me one thing that James Gunn Marvel humor that you would expect in one of his Marvel films, or in a Marvel film, what is a running gag that has been done to almost all of the major male characters since Endgame, both in TV shows and in film?
Off the top of my head, I probably can't answer that. Sorry.
What if I told you? So, okay, like I said, I'm not going to get into heavy spoilers, but this one will. If you're not going to see it,
no.
Superman.
I might. I probably watch it like when it comes on streaming or something. It's like okay, it's there. I'll click on it.
All right.
Like,
the second I
yeah.
say this, you're going to be like, oh shit, you're right. And it's also going to simultaneously piss you off. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Superman gets kicked in the balls. Yeah.
Does he flinch, or does he stand there?
He does the oof thing. Okay, so Ultraman is fighting him. Here's the thing. Ultraman is being controlled by Lex Luthor. Here's the other pathetic part. At the very beginning of the film, so this is context, not as much of a spoiler, but the two are related, so it's important to have this context. At the beginning, okay, this creation of Lex's is battling Superman. It's when you've seen the fight in the trailer where he gets all bloodied and thrown down. Not the one with the kaiju, but the other one with the guy in the golden suit. I won't tell you his name, but he laser visions the building, and that's Superman's fighting at the beginning and kicks Superman's ass. Superman loses every single fight, FYI. But so Superman gets kicked in the balls by Lex Luthor's creation from the beginning without the gold suit. It's Ultraman who's being controlled by Lex Luthor, and at the very beginning of the film, one of Lex Luthor's cronies is just like, oh my gosh, it's like he knows every move before Superman does. And then this other guy, one of Lex Luthor's higher up henchmen, says, well, that's because he does. He has spent 3 years studying Superman's moves and studying Superman's moves, studying how he thinks, how he acts, what he does, and has come up with over 2,500 counter moves for Superman's fighting style and attacks. And one of those 2,500 moves, after 3 years of research, is a double heel kick to the balls that sends Superman into the ground. I am not kidding you. The culmination of 3 years of research and study and designation of fight moves, like he treats them like they're chessboard moves, because he's saying stuff like F25, and then there's a part where he's like A1, 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 right? So it's like he's treating these like chess moves. And yeah, one of them is a double heel kick to Superman's balls. I'm not kidding.
That's fucking stupid. But another thing that kind of pisses me off about that is I know we did it with Man of Steel, but Man of Steel, it's been a good while now, and Superman hasn't been. I mean, there's a lot of Superman films, but he hasn't been reset like Batman has. You know, we've seen Batman's beginning a lot of times. Why did they choose to jump kind of already into Superman's career and not right at the start? Like, that seems stupid to me, because it's meant to be the start of a universe, right? And if you're not going to go with Batman as your first hero, it kind of makes sense to go with Superman, because I feel like people have seen, you know, especially now, we've seen less of his startup, right? Whereas Batman, everyone's seen it a fucking 100 times, right? So it's like, okay, so why would you jump? You should have done this with Batman, like, you know, 5 years into Batman, not Superman. That's so weird to me as well. That's a dumb choice.
Yeah, it's
like, it doesn't actually feel like from what I'm hearing, it seems like it's almost like a sequel, but we've missed the first film.
Yes, so it's very jarring. They actually do, and like here's the most bizarre part. Superman's origin is actually hardcore important. So light spoiler, Superman, Superman gets a message from his parents, right? Yep. They send it with him when he's a baby. And that message in this iteration, in James Gunn's iteration, the second half of the message is corrupt. So all Superman ever grew up hearing was, you're more important to us than heaven. We love you. We're going to send you where you can do the most good. And that is Earth. It seems fine. The second half of that message gets recovered and played for everybody, and they turn Jor-El and Lara into genocidal Kryptonian supremacists. I am not even kidding. So it's very, like, I showed it on my live. I'll show it again because it was so bad. There's a lot. So some spoilers coming your way. Maza, you said you're not gonna see it, so I don't feel super bad.
No, I don't care.
But it was not. I just wanted a good Superman film. Like I wanted an uplifting, aspirational, heroic. Like, give me the corn, give me the cheese, give me that absolute definitive moment where it feels like Superman. You know what I mean?
Being a hero. Yep.
Like, yeah, that quintessential Superman moment. That's all, like, that is what I was waiting to happen, and it never does. Do you know who does get their Superman moment? Who Lois is, like, her jaw literally drops while he's doing it, while he's protecting her, while taking out a bunch of the baddies?
Hey.
Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific gets the superhero moment. Gets the Superman moment, and it is genuinely the only individual superhero moment in the film is Mr. Terrific's. It, like, I was so disappointed.
Because it looked like there was already a group. So is Justice League formed?
Gang. It's the Justice Gang. It's Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. And it's
they're already like established.
Yes, they have. So they've got
this universe is so confusing. What the fuck?
So it starts. We also get a blurb. Hold on, let me find this really quick. We get a blurb at the beginning, and it says 300 years ago, metahumans were like made themselves known. Okay, so metahumans are a thing, and then it was. So that's 300 years now. There have been metahumans. Okay. And then it says 3 decades ago. Like it does like a timeline rundown. So you get exposition. It's not a scroll like in Star Wars, okay? But it is trying to do a Star Wars thing where it sets you up like, hey, 300 years ago there were metahumans. 30 years ago, a man was sent from Krypton. 3 years ago he made himself known. 3 weeks ago he prevented a war. 3 minutes ago he just lost to the hammer of Baravia and then slams into the snow.
It sounds like we missed the better movie.
Yeah, everything that Superman is like, it's very much a tell not show. Like, it's a tell not show. It was Superman. Even during the interview scene that you've seen with Lois, he says in there, yeah, I held him up against a cactus. And it's like, okay, why didn't we see that? Like, you're telling us things that happened, but we didn't actually get to see anything. I said it in my Twitter, on my X post. Superman starts down and he stays down. And there is never a single time where he gets out of a situation or solves a problem on his own. It is always with another super individual, sometimes not even super, sometimes it's Lois. Lois carries him twice. Lois pilots Mr. Terrific's ship without any instruction outside of, it's intuitive, you'll be fine. I'm slipping into spoilers, but yeah.
It's hard not to.
It's hard not to. So spoilers coming up. What did I say? Hello, Father Miller, but also what did I say? Did I say a swear word?
You didn't, but I probably said like 12.
That's alright. I'll pray for your soul. Alright, so here we go. This was mine and Jeremy's discussion on Tuesday on X. So he's like, Man of Steel is better. And he posted underneath that, he goes, I am not trolling. And like, I hate this movie for reasons. He hates this movie for reasons. And I replied, and they killed Pa Kent in that one. Right? And Jeremy's like, Gunn did something worse in this one. And I was like, sad but true. He turned Superman into a damsel, which is true. And then Jeremy's like, no, even worse. And I was like, the kick in the balls? And he goes, I wish. And I'm like, Lois carrying him or drunk Supergirl calling him a bitch? And then Jeremy's like, Jor-El. And I was like, oh, you're right. And Jeremy's like, yep. It was there was so much bad in this film, I couldn't figure out what he was talking about. And then it, like, hit me like a ton of bricks when he was like, Jor-El, and I went, oh, God, you're right. What they did to Pa Kent in Man of Steel doesn't even come close to what they did to Jor-El and Lara. It was so bad. Yeah. But manifest destiny, basically.
I just think Gunn's humor just needs to stay away from DC.
It does. It doesn't belong in here.
Because you need someone, and I'm not the biggest Zack Snyder fan. I'm not. I really am not. But you do need someone like him who is a bit darker, who does do those cinematic shots. I will say, the one thing Zack Snyder can fucking do is those cinematic shots that make Batman look like Batman. Make Superman, you know what I mean? Right?
Yes.
I just wish that, the blue was like he went a little bit too dark with Superman. Like he was trying to make Superman a bit too dark.
He definitely did.
So you need someone. Fuck, maybe you need two people. Someone who's really dark. It's you know what I mean. Maybe you need a couple.
Zack Snyder should direct. Somebody else should write.
Yeah.
And then you need to have a co-director. You need to have like a middleman who isn't afraid to tell Zack Snyder no. Like, no, we're not doing that. Like, that is what you need. Because when Zack Snyder is adapting other work and he's not trying to write and produce on top of directing, he's actually, but like, I mean, 300 is still to this day holds up. Okay?
Yep.
So like, you're right. It's not that he can't, but Batman, I would even, Batman, The Flash, and I would even say, like, not that we're ever going to see them, but even the Wonder Twins, Martian the Manhunter, I would have, like, that is more Zack Snyder's beat. He can't do Superman, and he can't do Wonder Woman.
No.
Like, he just can't. Not that he isn't talented, it's just that is not within the realm of his... Yeah.
And that's fine. That's the thing. You put him on those darker characters. You put him on, and then you smash it out. That's the thing. It's not like you have to be a part of everything, right? There does need to be someone on the higher up, but also it needs to be more of a team. I think what's actually failing, and you can see it with even Marvel now, is they're relying on one guy too much. Or the thing is, well, Marvel, I mean, they're splitting up. Maybe they need to tighten it up, actually. But with DC, they just rely on one guy, it seems like, right now, trying to do everything. And it's like, dude, that's a lot of pressure, and you're going to fuck it up. And some people are built for characters and stuff as well.
And
you need a team.
Yeah. I mean, Warner Brothers gave J.J. Abrams $500 million. And he didn't do anything with it. He did nothing.
I wouldn't trust him.
Gosh, no. He's a franchise destroyer. But like, the man can write an intro. He just can't write longevity, and he can't finish a story, and he knows it. He said it. But yeah, he got $500 million from Warner and didn't do anything with it. And then it was, oh no, he's still there. He's still working on stuff. And it's like, okay, why would you bring James Gunn in when you gave $500 million to J.J. Abrams?
This is the thing. It's like, this is another problem, especially with Warner Brothers, even their game fucking division. Everything is just fucked over there. So you got Matt, who's trying to do Batman. And I swear to God, if we don't see Batman 2, especially after the Penguin, I'm going to be forever just missing a bit, bro. Because I want to see Penguin get bashed after the Penguin ending, right?
My God,
that was one of the best endings. Dude, one of the best endings ever.
Spoil it, guys. Anybody in the chat that has not seen the Penguin, please go watch it. Like, Miles and I talked about it afterwards, and we were both like, "Holy shnikes!"
It's the only good thing DC has actually done in a fucking long time, and I can't believe it's a TV show. So we better see him as a fucking main villain in a movie, because he fucking fits Penguin. So you've got Matt trying to do his thing, right? And then it's like, okay, you got too many people trying to do their own thing when they should come together. Because I'll be honest, Matt Reeves' Batman could be this universe Batman, right? As much as I don't like it, but you should be together because that's what you want to do. It's not like you want to do individual films, like you said, fucking 3 years ago, right? You keep changing your mind on what you want to do. You want to have films that are just by themselves, and then all of a sudden you're making a friggin' universe again, right? So
yeah, and you're including piece. I mean, the freaking. This isn't a super. So this is not a Superman film. This is a James Gunn ensemble cast, and the star of the Superman film is Mr. Terrific. The co-star of the Superman film is for the co-star of Superman of the Superman film that actually stars Mr. Terrific is Crypto. Crypto has more screen time than any other character. For one.
Really?
Yeah. And two, Mr. Terrific is the only, I said it before, but Mr. Terrific is the only one who gets an actual superhero moment. Like an individual superhero moment. It's bad, bro. It's so bad. I said as a superhero film, I'd give it a 5.5 at best. That is at its absolute best. It's a 5.5. It averages at about a 3 as a superhero film.
And is that just because? Is that just because as well we've gotten so much shit? You know what I mean? Like if we were comparing it to a superhero film in 2008, 2010, 12, even 14, would it even be lower then? You know what I mean? Is it just like? Because I know.
Think about the superhero films that we were getting. We had Iron Man, Iron Man 2, the first Thor, which I mean was, for all intents purposes, it was a hit. Captain America, Winter Soldier. Absolutely, like this film would have gotten destroyed at the box office back then. It would have been obliterated at the box office. Because, like, yeah, you think about the superhero films we were getting. Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy was coming out. Like, this film would have gotten swallowed at the box office back then. Absolutely. Which it shouldn't, because it is a Superman film. It's a Superman film. If there's anyone or anything that should put butts in seats, it's Superman. I would have thought, like, Superman would have been the one.
Yeah, Superman should beat Jurassic World and Fantastic Four, but it looks like it might actually be the worst. Isn't that crazy? Superman has potential to lose to Jurassic World, which is bad in itself. Like it's had, you know what I mean? It's had bad films going into it, and it hasn't had that good of a press going into it as well, right? It's not like Superman was the only film going into it, you know, negatively, right? And then Fantastic Four looks awful, right? Like.
And Superman may well be the worst, not even the worst one, but the worst performing one. Like, Superman opening projections are below the long-range box office forecast. So, they've been lower, like, at first it was 145, and then it was 135, and then it was 125. Okay, that's domestic. And then it was between 120 and 145 opening weekend domestic. Now they're saying 200 million total, global and domestic, 200 million opening. So James Gunn's Superman, not starring Superman, is projected to open big, but not as big as long range tracking first indicated. Superman, of course, is the first film released under the auspices of Warner Brothers DC Studios co-CEOs Gunn and Peter Safran. Gunn wrote and directed Superman, while Safran is one of the film's producers. Gunn, by the way, the reason that he came out earlier this week and was like, guys, it's not a big deal if it doesn't make 700 million. Like, you're making too big of a deal out of this. Like, it's okay. It's not this huge thing. Like, it doesn't need to make 700 million to be a hit. And we can get into the budget later, but the fact you're saying that before going into your Superman film, you're coping. You are pre-coping. You are setting up the excuses, right? So the film, which reboots DC's universe, is playing in Thursday previews this week before opening nationwide on Friday. Starring alongside Cornsweet are Rachel Brosnahan and Nicholas Hoult. Rachel Brosnahan, basically, there's 2 scenes, so you get 2 scenes of Clark Kent. That's it. You barely see Clark Kent. He's in the Daily Planet one time for about 5 minutes. And it's when he's with Ma and Pa Kent, that scene that you saw in the trailers, where he slaps Pa Kent on the shoulder. So those are the 2 scenes you get Clark Kent. And the other times he is, Superman, or allegedly Superman, he whines the whole time. Even when he's looking at Lex, after he has beaten Lex and is standing across from Lex, when he delivers his, "You're wrong, Lex, I am human, I am," one day you'll realize this is not your weakness, but your strength also. He does it in a whiny, he's not commanding, he's not calm, he doesn't have the presence of the room. It's a very, it's a very whiny, almost like a plea. Like he's begging Lex to believe him. It's not good. But Rachel Brosnahan's Lois, I hate her.
Because how does she compare to Man of Steel's one, Amy
Adams?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The chemistry between Cornsweet and Brosnahan does not feel like brother and sister, which is a good thing, because that was the big hang-up with Cavill and Adams. They just felt, it was not there. You know what I mean? When I say that, but here's the problem. The chemistry is limited solely to physical chemistry. So the one makeout scene that you've seen in the trailer and the one kiss, the Superman kiss that you've seen in the trailer, those are the only 2 times that they physically touch, that they have physical interactions. The rest of the time, their chemistry, the other times that they do interact, oh no, that's wrong. She hugs him at one other point.
Oh shit.
But she's freaking out because he says the L word and she's not ready to say it back. And she's admitting this stuff to Mr. Terrific, that she's indecisive. She doesn't know what she wants. She's not sure if she really wants to be with him. I don't know. She's super indecisive about it, but you have no idea where that came from. And Lois is supposed to be witty and snarky, not bitchy. Excuse my language. Especially to Superman / Clark. She has never been that way toward, at first when she meets Clark, she's she teases him, but she's never just a right out witch with a B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She is in this film.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially in the animated movies and show.
Yeah.
She's never you never go, "Oh, that annoying bitch," Yeah, Raider came in clutch.
Raider for 54.23 drops it like a champ and walks away. Thank you so much. You, sir, are a legend. Mwah. Thank you. Sorry, I just saw that. I have a really bad habit of not looking at the chat so that I don't spiral. It really is for your benefit, guys, so I don't spiral. But I thank you so much, Raider. You are a scholar and a gentleman, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Hey, if you ever want to chat, Raider, door's always open. I'm more than happy to shitty chat if you ever want to, come on. I know you are a man of mystery, but it's always there for you if you wish. But anyway, so, yeah, Brosnahan's Lois Lane, she's not hungry for the truth. She's hungry for a story. She's upset that
See, that's already fighting against the character. She never cared about getting the big story. She always just wanted the truth.
Yes,
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Because she went from newspaper to newspaper because she wasn't going after the big story. She's always going after the truth. And that's what ends up getting her fired multiple times.
And in life or death situations.
Yeah, and that's what makes her and Superman connect, right? All the time. And it's just I don't know. I think he's gotten that bit completely wrong. Because
Yes.
yeah, she should be getting fired from all of them and almost having to start her own paper again. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't go after the big story. She goes after the truth of all these businesses, all these
Yes.
things. You know?
Mostly
Yeah.
circling around, of course, Lex
Yeah.
Luthor.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing. And you can't have a Lois who, so first of all, she always digs. She always tries to find the truth. She always verifies her sources. In this movie, all of the evidence to bring down Lex Luthor gets sexted to Jimmy Olsen. Just an FYI. It's not groundbreaking journalism. It's not Lois digging for the truth. Like, there are so many parts of this story that could have been so good. Like, if you go watch the animated series, or even like Richard Donner's Superman, or if you go watch the Superman TV, like Lois and Clark with Dean Cain, or if you go watch George Reeves' serial Superman, the TV series back then, like with George Reeves, there is this element to Lois. She is a beautiful woman, and she is not afraid to use that beauty to get her access to places. Now, she never lets it go too far, but she is not above batting her eyelashes and rolling her shoulder back to like get into where she needs to get, or to disarm her I'll say it, like, her target, in order to get to the truth. Like, she will do that. She definitely uses that. That doesn't happen here at all. She doesn't use that to uncover the truth. And basically, Jimmy hands her everything, and then she puts it on a board and shows it to Perry, and then they write the story together. Like, it's just no character outside of Mr. Terrific gets a moment to be heroic, or
Seem
to show their characterization, like to show who they are as a character themselves.
the thing is, it seems like they never can write a detective right. Like I know she's not a detective,
Mm.
but you know what I mean. Like those types of
He's one
skills.
step, one step away from it.
Yeah, it seems like writers, because they screw it with Batman all the time, where
Mm-hmm.
it's like they they just don't do it. It's like you're way off. Like the animated writers do it so much better with all that detective stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these guys, they just try and do the action. It seems like, and it's just like you got
Yep.
to, when it's that character. Not everyone's an action hero. Like you got every character should be different in their own way, and they just try and seems like they try to make every character just the same or make them
Pretty
completely
much.
different.
Pretty much. And so you don't get any, you do not, every, like, there's no real discernible characteristics about any of none of the characters stand out at any point except Mr. Terrific. He is the only one. Even Lex as the villain, there's one moment where you think that he is actually like, oh my gosh, like they're actually going to go there, they're actually going to do this. And then a second later, you're right back to the James Gunn Marvel humor. They completely undercut the entire scene, and they steal it away. And you're like, bro. And so the pace of this film is literally breakneck speed, so that you just get the flash and the action and the color, and you don't have time to think about what you're actually seeing on the screen, because if you did, you'd realize it's crap. But like, I was sitting there at I was like, okay, when are we gonna get the superhero? Like, when are we gonna get the Superman payoff
Moment.
moment? When is all of this gonna like pay off? And then the Jor-El and Laura thing happened. It's like, okay, when is this gonna get proven to be fake? No, it gets reinforced that it's real all the way through the rest of the movie, including the end where he's no longer playing the message from his crypto. He has embraced being human and has abandoned his identity as a Kryptonian, as the last son of Krypton, essentially at the end of the film. Like
Really?
that is the messaging behind the ending of the film. So it is not good. It's not good. Even as a superhero film, you're like, why is this stuff even happening? And you're like, oh, well, because Lex. Okay, but why is Lex doing it? Well, because he's angry at like there's a whole like 5-minute argument that Superman is having with Lex through Ultraman's speaker in Ultraman's suit. And Lex is like, well, you're envious, or Superman is like, you're envious, Lex. And Lex is like, yeah, you think I don't know? And he's like, but my envy is going to be what saves humanity. Like, it's just, it just, there is no rhyme or reason because we've not seen any of the backstory about why Lex hates Superman so much outside of the fact that Lex is petty. But again, you don't get to spend enough time with any of these characters to develop a relationship with any of them at all.
They've forgotten with new movies, you've actually got to show it. It seems like they've done the mistake of oh, you should already know who Superman is. You should already know who Lex is.
And that's what I was, yep. And his origin, and the thing is, like, his origin is incredibly important. It should be, it is actually incredibly important. If this movie had a plot, that would be a key, that would be a key factor to the plot of this film. But because there is no plot, and it's like somebody took a bunch of comic books and threw them into a blender and mixed it up and then poured it out and then had a food fight with it in a cafeteria. And then they were like, whatever sticks is what we're going to take. That's kind of what it feels like. There's no real identity at all for any of the characters. Which is just a shame because there is talent on this cast, but they're just not given any ability, any time to actually like breathe. And so like, for example, Lois, if she's not yelling at somebody, she's kind of just standing there with her arms crossed, staring at something with her mouth open. Like that's sort of it. She's either got like a pen in her mouth or she's sitting there staring up at the thing. And the one, like, this is the thing. There's one scene where she pours a little bit of coffee and then she's dumping sugar into it. That is a Lois thing. That's a joke from, like, that is a running Lois joke. She runs on junk food and sugar. But the problem is you only show it the one time. Like, we were just in her apartment at the beginning of the film. You didn't see a bunch of junk food everywhere. You didn't see a bunch of sugar everywhere. Like, they put stuff in the movie, but they don't build anything around it. It's all silos. Like, it's all very individual, like, member berry drops, kind of.
Did they even tease like Batman or anything like that?
No, they tease Supergirl. Supergirl crashes into the Fortress of Solitude at one point, drunk, by the way, and calls Superman bitch.
I think what's happened is they've listened to the Batman complaint of hearing his hearing about his origin too much, and now they're skipping to Supergirl. Like, we should know. Like, the Justice League should be, like, known before Supergirl even comes into the picture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, why is Supergirl crash landing before the Justice League is even assembled right now? Like, like, I think they're overdoing it now. They're overcompensating. Yes. Like, they're getting in all these characters that don't show up. Well, some of them do, don't get me wrong. But it seems like we're going out. Like, when Marvel went to Ant-Man, they had, other than like Spider-Man and, don't get me wrong, a few, right? They had already used a lot of their big guys already. You need to use your big guys and then start picking. Now, don't get me wrong, Supergirl, very popular, but you don't bring in Supergirl as a tease on your first Superman film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what? That seems so bizarre to me. Whack.
Yep, it is. It really is. It's not. It isn't fun. It isn't a good time, and it completely destroys Kara from the Superman, from the comics and even the CW show. She hero worships her cousin. She's not going to call him a bitch to his face while drunk. Like, the what we know of this Supergirl, she dumps her dog off with her cousin so she can go party in a different universe.
Oh, she's in that.
Yeah. She dumps her dog.
Oh, she's actually, like, in it. Oh, I thought it was just, like, a little tease at the end. What the fuck?
So we find out that Krypto is her dog. And so based off of the fact that he's in the whole film and what Superman says to his robots, and it is a teaser at the end, but literally she crashes through his fortress of solitude drunk because she's been in a different galaxy with a red sun so that she can get drunk. So what that tells us from all of this, and Superman looks at his Superman robots and he's like, see, this is why Krypto has behavior issues. And so, so from that, we gather that she is a party girl, drunk, irresponsible,
What?
and has behavior issues girl. And when she literally crashes in, so like, why'd you move the door? He's like, I didn't. It's in the same place it always is. Krypto jumps on her the same way he's been jumping on Superman, but where Superman is getting like hurt by it, she's giggling. And then Superman is like, looks at his robot and is like, yeah, she likes to go to a universe with a red sun, since we can't get, because of the yellow sun here in our metabolism, we can't get drunk here, so she goes to other solar systems with red suns so that she can get drunk. So Supergirl is a pet abandoning party girl drunk who calls her cousin a bitch and does not respect him at all. Nobody respects Superman in this film at all.
What the fuck am I listening to?
I
that's
wish I
not
was
her
joking.
at all.
That's
not
what
her
she
at
is.
all. What the fuck? Yeah, they
On
couldn't have
Tuesday,
messed.
yes, mess it
What
up big
the-
time. Variety forecasted an opening between 120 to 130 million from 4,000 North American screens. So that's domestic, 120 to 130. Trade publication noted that Warner Brothers is being conservative with its opening window weekend projection for the film and is forecasting a $100 million 3-day bow. Here's what you guys have to understand. They're going to take those pre-screenings. So if you had a Prime, an Amazon Prime account, and you could find it was like 50 theaters throughout the US or whatever, if you could get an early screening of Superman on Tuesday, right? If you had a Prime account. I was given one, so I got to go see Superman Tuesday. But people paid for those. So they're going to include this in Thursday so when they say 3-day weekend, they're not saying Friday, Saturday, and Sunday alone. They are talking about all of the pre-screenings on Tuesday and all of the early showings, as they like to call them, today on Thursday. They're going to include those in the 3-day weekend. They will. Okay? But for Warner Brothers to say that 100 million is conservative opening, if this thing comes in under 100 million domestic, I don't know what happened. Like, I would say that James Gunn's DCU is dead in the water. Because if you can't launch your reboot of your franchise off the back of Superman, if you can't be successful with Superman, you can't be successful with anything else. And DC has this problem. They do knee-jerk reactions, and they make very emotional decisions. They don't make business decisions. They make very emotional decisions. So when they announced Henry Cavill is back in the Cape, Henry Cavill returning as Superman, and then 10 days later, 2 weeks later, James Gunn was like, actually not. And then he's like, well, he wasn't fired, he just wasn't hired. And it's like, bro, no matter how you word this, you have pissed off everybody. Like, you have pissed them off. And then to say, well, we're going to do a complete reboot, but then you keep Peacemaker, and you keep your brother, and you keep your wife, and you keep Viola Davis. Like, you keep all of these other characters, and you're keeping Jason Momoa and recasting him as Lobo, which I think is fine. I think he'd be a great Lobo. But the fact that you are keeping other characters, that's a problem. You lied. Again, he's a liar. So,
yeah.
$100 million. That if this thing comes in under 100 million, oh my gosh, bro, I don't even know. Like, I think F1 is the summer blockbuster of the year. Honestly, it's so good. It's Top Gun Maverick, but with race cars. It's so good. I'm actually gonna go see it again this weekend because I got to get this trash out of my brain. But yeah, I'm just I'm blown
It feels
away.
like they completely fucked it. Because
They did.
you already have his cousin as a fucking, let's be honest, a hoe.
She may not be a hoe, but she's exhibiting hoe behavior. Isn't that what Lethal always says? Even if you're not a hoe, if you're exhibiting hoe behavior, you're gonna get
yeah, a
called.
hoe. A
You're
hoe.
gonna get called a hoe.
Yeah, so they can already travel to different universes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So that's fucked in
Well, at the
itself.
beginning, remember, the beginning of the movie is basically it shotguns you through everything. Metahumans have been
Yeah.
around for 300 years. Superman crash landed 30 years ago. He's been known to the public for 3 years. Okay? He stopped a war 3 weeks ago that we don't get to see. So it's just, man.
Yeah, no, see, this is where I think I understand why some people might like it, but as a DC fan, I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely hate it already.
Yep.
I haven't even watched it because I think what's happening is a lot of the people who are calling it mid. I've never seen someone call it an 8 out of 10 yet. I've only seen people call it mid. I think they're not as DC fans as a lot of the people calling it a 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they don't really care about the changes. So yeah, this just seems awful. Like starting a universe like this is so stupid. They needed way more planning out, way more. Just it seems like James Gunn just jumped into it, shot himself in the foot without even thinking, because he doesn't understand when you're trying to build a universe how this affects, because doing that little haha look it's a trashy hoe gimmick, right, with his
Mm-hmm.
cousin, he doesn't understand that fucks up like a solo film for her, that kind of fucks up her story, her lineage. And
Yeah.
when she comes in on the I forget, I think it's an animated movie, first time I seen it, it actually means something because Superman goes down a whole like I'm not the only Kryptone, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, and then making his parents crazy assholes, right? That
Mm-hmm.
completely ruins their characters. That's like as bad as like I hate when they do it. Well, I hate when they make like Batman's mom and dad bad, like they work with the mafia and they end up actually being
Yeah.
bad guys. I hate that storyline too. I
Yep.
hate when they go down that route. So that's as bad as that. And so you've already ruining the little key details on why Superman is good, and then you're ruining his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't care. Like he never, not once goes, "Oh, I hate being Krypton and I disavow it." He never
Mm-hmm.
does that, right? If
Right.
anything, that's more Goku's story. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like his Saiyans, and he becomes the less, killing, right? Um, so it just seems like he didn't understand any of the characters. Like it really
No,
seems like he
he
didn't
does.
understand.
He's a fan of Tom King and all those storylines where Batman's parents are evil and work with the mafia, where
Yeah,
Jor-El and Lara are actually supremacists who wanted Kal-El to rule over the
yes,
earth.
no,
Wonder Woman is actually, an Amazonian goddess, daughter of Zeus, who should conquer like all of these, like make them submit to her, and bring like bring men so that they can make more Amazonian women and then discard the men when they're done with them. Like that whole like those darker storylines, those darker through lines, that's Tom King. He's the one. Don't forget, Tom King is the one who cucked Batman at the altar with Catwoman.
yeah.
He's the one who left Batman standing at the altar while Catwoman bounced. Okay? So, um it's it is destructive of the lore of the quintessential, the Superman that everybody loves. People know about those other storylines. They know about the Red Sun. They like, evil
Hmm.
Superman. They know about the
Yeah,
if Jor-El and Lara were actually, if they had actually had insidious plots. Like people know those storylines. They are not as popular because the Superman that everybody loves is the Boy
and
Scout Paragon Superman who stands for truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah, and they're getting overdone as well.
Mm-hmm.
Every time it's like, oh, what happens if Superman was evil? I mean, hell, even other companies that try and copy DC, it's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
look, Omni-Man, he's like Superman but evil. Oh, look, it's I forget the boys one. Fucking, I hate the boys so much.
Not Highlander.
Yeah,
Is it
something.
Highlander? Yeah, it's Highlander.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's Superman but evil. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in DC and outside of DC, we're seeing
Homelander.
that story.
Homelander.
Homelander, yeah. You're seeing it too much. And now I'm not saying Superman was evil, but making his parents evil, like I bet you they do something where he does turn evil, like down the line. I bet you he'll be evil Superman probably in the next couple of movies again.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, my parents were right. He's gonna see something that, like, it's probably gonna be, knowing Gunn, it'll probably be like animal torture, because again, when Superman flies off the handle, you guys saw it in the trailers, he comes and he throws Lex's desk against the glass. First of all, that glass should have shattered and that desk should have been vaporized going out the window, but I digress.
Yeah.
We saw Superman react when Krypto got taken. Okay, so knowing Gunn, when Superman like embraces evil or whatever, because I have no doubt it's going to happen, because they're obsessed with that storyline. It's going to be because he's like witnessing animal cruelty or something like that at a high level, of people that he like thought he respected. But here's the thing: he's a farm boy from Kansas. He's seen animals get butchered humanely, obviously. But like, this is the thing: Gunn claims to be a Midwest boy, but he doesn't have those values. Ma and Pa Kent are actually they're actually stupid. They actually are, like, he portrays them as dumb. He really truly does. And his defense for that was, well, I wanted it to feel like real Midwesterners, not Hollywood stars playing Midwesterners. And I'm like, this is what you first of all, the most intelligent people I know come from the Midwest. They're just not cock. They don't have an ego. They're like, this needs to get, so Midwest
All farmers
folks,
are dumb, dude.
yeah, apparently Midwest folks are like, well, this has to get done. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna cry, and I'm not gonna expect anybody else to do it. I'm gonna get it done because it needs doing. That is Midwestern. Oh, look, somebody over there is in trouble and needs help. I'm gonna go over and help them because they need help. We do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because we not because we expect some type of grandiose reward, or because we want to get famous, or because we want like a TikTok moment. Yeah, that's why you help people all the time, right? Right, Maza?
I'm a big helper, dude.
Mm-hmm. But no, but like Gunn doesn't understand that. Like we do things because they need doing. We help people because because somebody needs to. There is something that needs doing, so we do it. And then we move on. We don't brag about it. We don't it doesn't hang out in our minds. Yeah,
it's the job. Yeah,
it's literally like, that's the job. Like, that's what you like. Hey, we're all in this together, so we may as well help each other. Pick yourself
where
up.
I'm from, Queensland, that's the same thing here. Like Queensland, that's literally, even in like something like NRL, which is football. It's like a sport here. We say the same thing in that, getting actual work done, farm work, because we're the farming state, right, of Australia. That's what Queensland's known for. And we have jobs done, move on, right? Type of attitude as well. Like, it's the job. And
absolutely. And that, at no point was that portrayed either by Clark or by Ma and Pa Kent. And like, you get the thing of Perry telling Clark, oh, you're late again, Clark. And then you get, so like, this stuff, this it's like they looked at panels of a comic book and they pulled them out of context and they threw them into the movie. It's literally, they're member berry dropping, but they're not effective because it doesn't make any sense, because at no other point do we see Lois around any type of junk food or any type of sugar or anything. Like, she doesn't have a snack. I can't even think of another point. In fact, when she comes home, so that beginning of the film where we see the interview, the whole reason that Clark is there is because it's their 3-month anniversary and he showed up to make breakfast for her for their 3-month anniversary. And instead of being grateful, this is what I'm saying when she's a witch with a B, instead of being grateful that Clark remembered and showed up and tried to do something sweet because he made breakfast for dinner. And he was like, you love breakfast for dinner. And she's like, no, you love breakfast for dinner. I like breakfast. And so she's just snippy. And he's like, well, it's our 3-month anniversary. And you don't actually see her eat the food that he cooked for her. You see plates and you are assuming they eat and she takes them to the sink or whatever. But like, at no point when you're looking around her apartment, while we're in her apartment, you don't see any junk food, you don't see any sugar. When you're at her desk, you don't see any junk food, you don't see any sugar, you don't see any wrappers of junk food and stuff like that. She doesn't have her snack food in her hands, which is part of her like whole thing. She runs on caffeine and sugar. Like that's literally what this chick lives off of, because she doesn't have time to sit down and cook because she's always trying to get to the truth. She's always looking for that breaking, like that breaking moment in a story, right? She's not trying to necessarily, she's not looking for drama, and she's not looking for, like top 10 bachelors of I almost said Smallsville, of Metropolis versus top 10 bachelors of Gotham, right? Like that's not what she's doing. She is trying to find she's like, that's the crazy thing. Lois is the perfect character for them to have their whole like environmentalist message with. She's the one to do it because she's the one that chases the guys polluting the river, and she's the one that chases down the guys who are doing the illegal animal experimentation, and she's the one chasing down the illegal storage of nuclear waste being turned into
The
like being
mob
tested.
chucking bodies into rivers and stuff.
Like
yeah.
that's the stuff she chases down. That's why she always ends up hanging off of buildings, because she's sneaking into Lex's office, or she's sneaking into businessmen's companies that do business with with LexCorp, but with LuthorCorp. She's sneaking into those places to try and find evidence, to try and figure out what's going on.
They actually did a good job of her following Lex to Gotham, and that's how I don't know if it was exactly how they met, but do you remember when Batman and Superman first kind of met? It was kind of because Lois started dating Bruce and stuff
Wayne.
like that. They could have done that again, but different, right? She's the perfect character to get them to meet again. You know what I mean? Like you see Batman's not evil, but you see a dodgy deal with Lex and Bruce Wayne's company, right?
Well, that's exactly what happens. She's not really dating Bruce because she wasn't planning on dating Bruce. She went after him because she thought that there was something nefarious going on between him and Lex. And then she finds out he's actually like this super wholesome guy who just puts on this billionaire front. And so when Clark asks Lois why she's with a guy like that, she was like, Bruce is not like these other men. And because at this point Lois knows who Clark Kent is, and she goes, and he's nothing like you. And then Clark finds out who Bruce Wayne actually is, and then it's like, so Lois does have a type, and she just doesn't realize it. And then of course Lois finds out that Bruce Wayne is Batman, and then she's like, and then she breaks it off with Bruce, and eventually goes back with Clark. But you're 100% correct. She could have been what introduces Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent.
Imagine the ending. She sits down, dinner, Bruce Wayne. That could have been such a sick fucking ending or something like that.
They're already dating. Yeah, but but Clark and Lois are already dating in this.
Oh yeah, because they skipped ahead.
Yeah, they're already dating. So it's been 3 years since the world was introduced to Superman.
Which is crazy, because Batman would have already have been on Superman's case. That was the whole thing. Different stories, but Superman would already be on him, like an alien. He would be a threat. As much as Batman is a good guy, he always has plans. Yeah. Always. like, I mean, fuck, it fucked him up in one of the movies where he had the plans for everyone, and then they ended up getting used on him, right? Because, right? See, that's that bit that Gunn doesn't understand of a universe, and I'd even say, Penguin kind of fucked it up a bit. It's like all these things are happening. It's like, where's Batman then? You know what I mean? In Gotham and stuff like that. And I think they need to remember when something happens, you're in a universe now. You can't just contain it. You know what I mean? You need to think bigger now as well. That's the thing.
But Gunn has never had to go outside of like his Guardians of the Galaxy or the Suicide Squad. Like the Suicide Squad was perfect for Gunn. Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect for Gunn. Superman is not for Gunn. Gunn cannot do Superman. Few people can. But like even here it says long tracking leader National Research Group via the Hollywood Reporter released long range data forecast for Superman on June 18th. So 3 weeks ago, projecting that the film would make anywhere from 125 to 145 million in its first Friday to Sunday frame. Since then, the Hollywood Reporter noted on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, after the fan screenings, that the National Research Group adjusted its forecast to a $130 million opening. So, still kind of in the middle, but closer to that 125 mark, and now you have Warner Brothers saying 100 million. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good, especially when you have a budget of $363 million. Like, we have the Ohio tax records to prove it. Gunn can say whatever he wants. But we have the tax records from Ohio. It's $363 million. And this was an unprecedented, here, let me find that really quick. This was like a $250 million marketing campaign. I mean, you got
there's a lot.
This was everywhere.
Yeah, even on like Twitch, YouTube, I was getting ads.
Yep.
It was
ads were everywhere. It was bad. So this is actually inaccurate of a title. So Superman's budget could soar as high as 400 million. It's already over 400 million. This thing is closer to 600 million budget-wise. So last year Superman made headlines when documents listed the budget at 363.8 million. Gunn denied those claims, right? He's like, how in the world do they know what our budget is? Well, because they're on official tax documents that you filed with the state of Ohio. Gunn. That's how we know. So the only problem with his response was the documents in question were official. This wasn't a number plucked out of thin air by a social media scooper. Exactly. Okay, so they're even admitting, all right, that this doesn't smell right. But then he says, recently we've heard Superman will cost $225 million after incentives and tax breaks. So I need you to understand something. If this, after the tax breaks, you're telling me that it's $225 million, that means that this film is getting $138 million in tax credits.
Yeesh.
That seems impossible. That seems impossible. I'm just going to be real. There's no way that you're getting 160 million plus in you just or 100. So
that seems like a lot.
That's 136. Like, there's no way you're getting that much in a tax break. There's no way. I would drop this $363 million down. They might get 50 million. Maybe. And that is being generous. So I'll give them 50 million. So that's still $313 million on just the production after tax breaks. So sources say the DC parent company could spend as much as $200 million on the global marketing campaign compared to the usual $150 million for summer tentpoles. We already know that it's more than $200 million. This thing is closer to $250 when we're talking marketing budget. So that means that if you take so we'll say it's $313 million plus $250 million for marketing. That is, correct me if I'm wrong, okay. That's still, so 250 plus 313, that's still $563 million on a film. That's almost $600 million on a film.
One film.
One film. Hold on a second. And then, on average, so we'll just, so for easy street sake, okay? So, and just so you guys know I'm not lying, okay? So here's 250 plus 313, 563 million. I'm not making that number up, okay? So if you have 563 million, all right, and then you have to multiply that by 2.5 times the budget, right? Because that's generally what it has to make to get its money back. To break even, this film would need to make $1,407,500,000. Because don't forget, they have to cover that marketing campaign. They have to cover that production cost. They have to pay the theaters. They have to pay the distributors. So to break even is $1.4 plus billion. Now, let's say they get their 100. So what did they say? It's only going to be 225 million. So let's say it's 225 plus 250. That's 475. Okay, so if we do 475 million. No. Hit the wrong button. So 475 million. Aren't you guys having fun in the chat, freaking out, geeking out with me on math? 475 million times 2.5. $1.187 billion to break even. This film is not going to... Aquaman, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, Aquaman is the only DC film in the last 30 years without inflation to hit $1 billion in the box office. So, the Batman got close. It got to almost 800 million, I think. I think it got like 770. But if I am not wrong, the first Aquaman film is the only DC film.
Joker? I think Joker. The first
did Joker hit $1 billion?
I think the first Joker was close, at least.
Okay. So, two films. The Joker and Aquaman. So we've got the Joker hit $1 billion. You're right, it did hit $1 billion without the China box office. That's why everybody was freaking out about it when it hit.
Yeah.
So the Joker hit $1 billion, which wasn't even supposed to be a Joker film.
Nah.
So like, I don't even know if you can.
It's not the Joker.
It wasn't the Joker, and it was never marketed under DC banner. It was marketed under Warner Brothers, but it was never marketed under the DC banner. So like, that one is questionable at best. But I'll give it to the Joker. So in the last 30 years, you had the Joker and Aquaman 1 hit $1 billion, and barely on both. The Batman got close at like 770 million. This Superman film is already dividing. It was already divisive because of what they did, of what Gunn did to Cavill. So that was already divisive. But now you have Gunn lying, and you have all this bad press coming out. Like, he's made himself central to the marketing. I have James Gunn fatigue. I am not even gonna lie. I'm sick of his face.
He's been everywhere.
He has been everywhere. So, and then for him to come out and say that his favorite project hasn't even happened yet, when your Superman film isn't even out, and for David Cornsweet to come out and say that he would rather be a Jedi Knight than Superman.
Dude, that's whack.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
Like,
especially considering how Star Wars is right now. I'd rather be Superman. I have more faith in Superman than I have anything Star Wars.
Oh yeah. Thank you for the poop emoji, Maza Salmon.
No, don't talk to that guy. Weird fuck. He's trying to make me eat shit. He's a weird guy.
Don't do that.
Weird guy.
We love Maza. But yeah, so David Cornsweet doesn't even want to come back to this universe.
Which is whack, because it's his first Superman film. You think he'd be talking nice about it, unless he had a really
he'd be like, I'm really pumped for Superman 2. I'm excited for my cameo in Supergirl. I can't wait for the Justice Gang and the Justice League. Like, You know, like,
you're trying to build a universe around this guy, and he comes out and says this.
yeah.
That's
Yep.
insane.
Uh-huh. So that's just, I mean, this franchise did not need another shot in the foot, but that is definitely
It makes,
definitely a shot in the foot.
if I was a shareholder or anything like that, I would be
Livid?
shitting myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've invested in Gunn. I don't know why, but you have. And now you're like, okay, you're being told that he's gonna try and go against the MCU, as dog shit as that is. But you've been told that it's gonna be a whole DC universe thing, and it's already flopping from the looks of things on the first film. You'd be
Yep.
shitting yourself. Warner Brothers should be absolutely freaking.
Yep. So an insider at Warner's DC says, based on such metrics, a domestic debut of 175 million or thereabouts is within the realm of possibility. It even has a shot of finishing with the 1 billion plus globally. No, it doesn't. There's no way to defend these budgets because when you get into the 700 to 900 million break-even point in regards of box office and ancillary revenue, it doesn't make any sense, says a veteran financier. Yeah, you should not be. If your film is making, Shazam with Zachary Levi. I'll pull up the numbers really quick, but Shazam made more money than almost all of their other films, and it only made, well, not only, it made like 385 million. Here we go, 365. So I was even off. So Shazam worldwide box office of 365,971,656, and it brought in, go away. It brought in $31.5 million for DVD and Blu-ray. Okay, which, by the way, when these went away, that little extra pocket change, that is what is hurting the film industry big time, because they're not getting these DVD and Blu-ray sales anymore because they switched to streaming and they didn't realize that they were signing their own death warrants. Right? So if we scroll down, so like, how could this have possibly made any money? Because it only had a budget of 85 million. And when you compare, and I mean, that's still a lot of money, but when you compare that to, what did it say? Hold on, let me put this back over here. So when you compare 85 million to 363 million, this Superman film is almost $300 million more expensive just to produce, let alone the marketing budget. So real quick, when you do Shazam, we'll bring out our nifty difty calculator again. Here we go, math nerds. Okay, so 85 million. Okay, and then you multiply that, or you add roughly, okay, so marketing budget is roughly half of your production budget. Like, at least back in 2019, they still pretty well followed that rule, right? So you figure their marketing budget would have been around 42.5 million. Okay, so 127.5 million on production. Like, it made money. It didn't make a lot. Made 50 mil. But it made more than it made more than Superman. That, or not, it made more than Birds of Prey, which flopped. It made more than Shazam 2, which flopped. It made more than Black Adam, which flopped. And all of those had bigger budgets. All of them had bigger budgets. So Shazam, regardless how you felt about it, it made $50 million. I promise you, they would love to take a $50 million win right now. Warner Brothers is up to their eyeballs. In debt.
Oh, dude, they're absolutely, in the gaming industry, they're closing down. They're getting, I mean, they just scrapped their Wonder Woman game that they were working on. It seems like they're going back to a Batman game. Suicide Squad just happened for them. It is bad over there on both ends. The only dub in the gaming one is the Harry Potter, the Hogwarts Legacy, right? And that was a shit game. So I think the sequel's going to do a lot worse. But yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it, like, say what you will about Zachary Levi as an individual, but, like, first of all, portrayed Shazam really well. He really did do a good job.
I like the first film.
Yeah, first film was great. Second film was... I don't know why they can't do sequels. It shouldn't be that freaking hard. Wonder Woman 84 also flopped because it was terrible. Like, really, really freaking terrible. So now you've got their two hits were Aquaman 1 and Shazam 1. And Shazam, yeah, it only walked away with 50 mil, but it walked away a win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a Birds of Prey flop. It wasn't a oh my gosh, what's the one that absolutely pogued? Why can't I think? Aquaman 2 still made a decent chunk of change. There was one that was real bad. Why can't I think of what it was? Blue Beetle!
Yeah, Blue Beetle. I forgot that even.
Movie, it hit that blue Beetle hit a windshield and splattered all over it.
And the thing is, you had the guy from Cobra Kai. He was a big name when that movie was coming out. So he's not as crazy as some of these actors, but he was a big name when that dropped, and it still flopped.
Yep. So I mean, Blue Beetle tanked hard. It cost them so much money and lost them so much money. My goodness, it
also
was
the
bad.
Flash. The Flash
film.
Yeah,
and the Flash was super expensive. That was another what is with DC spending $500 million on making films? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand. Fucked. DC needs to stop. They need to get back to 85 million or less. And then if you prove yourself, go ahead.
You know the best film? It wasn't even that actually good, but it was animated. Not Halloween, sorry. Batman: The Long Halloween. They did like a 3-parter movie series.
That was so good.
They should, for a little bit, just do some animated films again and TV shows. Stop. I would actually recommend it. Get some mad, you know what I mean? Get some mad dubs. Get everyone's hype again for Batman, Superman. Get their hype back up because the films are like the animated stuff is still good, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't watch the latest Batman series, but
do you know why it's still good? The latest Batman series is not as good as what has come before, but it's better than anything that's coming out right now. But you know why the animated stuff is still slaps? Because DC doesn't care about the animated stuff as much. The higher ups, they see that as, oh, well, that's the kids stuff. This is for global general audiences. So we're going to put our fingers in this pie and we're going to kind of leave the animated stuff alone. And that's why it's been allowed to be what it is. It's been allowed to be Batman and Superman in the Justice League. They've been able to actually explore those storylines fully because there's not a bunch of studio interference and shareholder argumentation going on. So the fact that Shazam made 50 million and what was Aquaman's? Here, we'll do Aquaman really quick. It's gonna bring up both of them if it loads. Come on, feel the noise. All right, well, apparently it's not gonna. It got mad at me. What did I do? There we go. Blue Wheel of Death. We'll wait and come back over here. But they need to get back to here, I'm gonna do it this way.
Actually writing their characters.
Yes.
Instead of just trying to.
They need to return to. There we go.
It seems like there was a little bit of hype for Injustice. Do you remember the comic book when Injustice, there was a lot of hype, and it is a good series, and the game as well. And then they were like, okay, that's us now. We're the Injustice. We're no longer DC. We're the Injustice crew. And now they all just follow that, because even the games were good. Yeah.
So Aquaman made them $72.5 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. $72.5 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. And it grossed $1.148 billion at the box office. I don't know if y'all can I'll try and zoom in so you can see that, okay? And it had a production budget of $160 million. And the thing is, that's insane for 20, like, this is 2018 when Aquaman comes out. $160 million production budget. The whole reason that they did this is because Endgame was coming out and they were desperate. They were desperate. They were like, we will throw as much money as we possibly can at this so that it can make money. And it did. It made them money. So we'll do the same thing we've been doing, guys. Okay, so that we're not showing favoritism. So 160 million, right? Okay, divide that by, or multiply rather. Should have multiplied it by half. So 160 million times 0.5, $80 million, right? I'm not calling you guys stupid. I just want to prove that I'm not screwing up the math. $240 million multiplied by 2.5. They had to make $600 million to break even. All right. So when we subtract, it's going to come out with a negative in front of it, but it's the same. It's the absolute value is what we're looking for. So the absolute value doesn't change. Okay. So 600 million minus 807 billion. The movie made over $500 million. The movie made over $500 million for them,
which is insane for Aquaman.
Yeah.
I would never have guessed
So,
Aquaman.
It paid off. Like, it paid off. But then the problem was they couldn't stick. Well, this crazy psycho went off on Johnny Depp, and so that didn't help anything.
She took a shit.
Yes, she did. Literally and figuratively. But the fact that this movie was still able to make over $500 million, but now you have Superman at a 700 to 900 million break-even point at a best-case scenario. Remember that, Mazza. Best-case scenario, if they get all the tax breaks, if they get all of the revenue, like all of that back, the best-case scenario for their break-even is 700 to 900 million dollars. But we did the math. It's actually 1.4 billion is their break even. Is 1.4 billion. So for James Gunn to say if this doesn't make 700 million, it's not that big of a deal. It is, because that is less than half of what you need to break even on this thing. And the film is not good. I don't see this thing. I could be wrong. But like I said, my review, my out of theater reaction from Tuesday is up. I'll have my video out sometime tomorrow. Gary's got one out. Shad's got one out. Jeremy's done some live streams on it. Epicverse is streaming right now about it. Like, it's everywhere. You can go watch other people's opinions. Some people love it, but then you ask them. Go ahead. Anybody that loved it, ask them, what was your favorite part of the film? Ask them. And if it's Mr. Terrific, well, this isn't a Mr. Terrific film. This is a Superman film. If your favorite part is when Mr. Terrific and Lois show up to save Superman, and Mr. Terrific protects Lois while he takes out the bad guys, this isn't a Mr. Terrific film. And it really is as simple as that. When the one shining, singular superhero moment doesn't belong to Superman, it belongs to Mr. Terrific, you have a problem, because this is supposed to be a Superman film.
Yeah. It even from the trailer, you could already tell there's too many characters for. Okay, you could do a Superman sequel in the future with some other characters.
Yes.
But a first one in your universe, setting up, the new version of the DCEU, and it's already all this. It's just bloat and just shit. Like, there shouldn't be. The first film of your universe shouldn't have his cousin already. Shouldn't have all these setups. No Batman, but no Wonder Woman, but you've already got all these other characters who come after. They get inspired by the Justice League to become heroes. You know what I mean? Like, you've already fucked up so many people, because a lot of their stories, a lot of their start is seeing the Justice League actually do something. So a lot of them step up in hell. A lot of sometimes, like, how many heroes, when they always do like the death of Superman stories, how many heroes step up because of the Superman? And that's when a lot of them come in. You know what I mean? Right?
Yep.
That's when you're introduced to them, not first Superman film.
Nope.
Like, it's just, come on,
Yeah,
lads.
it was very jarring. It didn't work. I get what Gunn was trying to do. It didn't land because he did not he did not he didn't do it right. He didn't do it well. There there's so much wrong with it. There's so much bloat and there's no plot and there's no point. And the whole thing, like, it's Thor. It's like the Thor movies where Thor, the first movie, he makes some bad choices, he makes some bad decisions, he gets down on himself, he's not confident about himself, and he needs to figure out who he is. Right? We saw that play out over and over and over again in the Thor films. And then it was the same thing with Peter Quill in the Guardians of the Galaxy films. And then it was the same thing with Iron Man in Iron Man 3, like, and Endgame and Iron Man 3. Like, we're just this theme of weak, effeminate males who have no confidence in themselves or in what they're able to do. And it's just, it's sad.
When you do
depressing.
it right, you could do a good story of
Absolutely.
a man. You know what I mean? That's the thing. You can do it good, but they never do it good, and it's never satisfying. It's never, yeah. And Superman, like, he never even got his moment to shine. Like, that's stupid as shit. At least in Man of Steel, he got, a little bit of that. You know what I mean? He did save a lot of people and all that, and got that superhero. Now, I haven't watched the film, so I can't really comment too much on it. But it just sounds shit. It just sounds like a rushed mess. Like, rushed in. The movie was actually rushed, and also they rushed into a universe. They should have just made one film, and then, if the film succeeded, then start talking about that stuff, man. Dumb.
Yeah, I'm disappointed. I wanted this so badly to be good. I really, really, really did. But there's just too, like, they've already muddied the water too much. And they've detracted from Superman. Like, they have detracted from their own main character. And for Gunn to come out and say that this isn't his favorite project and that he hasn't even started working on his favorite project yet, and that, like, you get the sense that he just can't wait to get like, it's almost like Superman is a chore for him. Like, he has to get it out of the way. But then, anytime I said that, people were like, oh, you're a Snyder bot, which I'm not. I hate the Snyder. Like, I hate what Snyder did. Now, say, as much as I disliked it, I will say, Aquaman's movie was about Aquaman. Shazam's movie was about Shazam. Superman's movie was about Superman. We never got a Batman film, and I'm still pissed about it. But I digress. Like, the character, Wonder Woman's film was about Wonder Woman. The Flash's film was about the Flash. So regardless of how mismanaged the Snyderverse was, those films, those individual films, they focused on those individual characters. The first film under Gunn as co-head of DC did not focus on Superman. That is a problem. That's a problem. No matter who, like, I completely agree. As a shareholder, I'd be crapping myself right now. I would be
Honestly,
pooping my pants.
They need to, because with Batman 2 as well, that's the thing. That's in development hell. Well, I don't know what the term is for movies,
development
but
hell is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, they can't even. I mean, how many times do you hear that? Oh yeah, we're just starting. It's like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're just starting? and it's like, or they can't agree on anything. And so you've got a Batman film that's in development hell. You've got a movie that seemed to be in development hell, so much so that the actor wants to go away already. Like he's using, dude. You know what this reminds me of? You know when the Game of Thrones writers wanted to leave Game of Thrones and go to Star Wars. We're having flashbacks to that again, but with Superman this time. The main actor just wants to leave for Star Wars again, and so everything, the gaming industry for them is fucked. It's just bad. And the worst thing is, I'm sorry to all the Marvel fans, DC is so much better. It may not be like the actual characters are so much better. When you go band for band, comic book wise, story wise, DC is so much better. Better heroes, better villains. But it's just the Marvel movies have been better recently, right? And DC is in such a shit
Marvel,
spot.
because DC couldn't get out of their own way. Marvel got there first, but the whole gauntlet, the whole Infinity Stone thing. DC, that precedes in the comic books. That is for Marvel. That took 15 years to develop because you had the Godstones in DC a good 10 or 15 years before any of that Infinity Stone nonsense. You got the cube, so like you saw them kind of in the Justice League. It was the cubes. It was Darkseid, but like again, DC. Endgame took a decade to build up into, starting from Iron Man back in 2008. It took over a decade to get to Endgame. DC tried to shotgun through that in 3 years. And you can't.
Yes. And they're doing it again. They're just shotgunning to new characters. They didn't learn. They didn't learn.
You have to set a foundation and build off of it.
See, with Batman, you could skip a little bit ahead. You could be like, okay, this is what happened. Show it really quick. And even, you know what? Me personally, I would skip to Batman and Robin. Like, I would have Batman already was his first Robin, right? They haven't met. The Justice League is just kind of starting off. And you can kind of not, you know what I mean? Like, whereas the DC, when they did it, they skipped to the second Robin already, like, big spoilers, second Robin already being dead. And it's like, what? That's a movie on itself. Why are we doing that? You know, they either show you the start too much, or they skip way ahead where it's just ridiculous, and you're like, no, I don't want to go that far ahead. Okay, yeah, I'm a little bit sick of seeing Batman's origin story, but doesn't mean I don't want to see these stories. I want to see Batman's family. Like, I want to see all that because that's the best parts, dude. What the heck?
Yes, because that sets the tone for your entire universe, and the fact that Gunn skipped over that means he doesn't actually care about the legacy of these characters. He doesn't actually care where they come from. He is on camera saying that he took the core of the characters and kept the core, but then changed everything else around and about the characters. Like, he said that in an interview with the DC comic crew, like the DC interview people. Like, that's what he said.
That's so stupid. And you know the thing is, you could do a thing, right? The movies being the main people. You could do like an animated TV series that are connected to your main universe of the little characters too, to give them a bit more shine and stuff as well. Because let's be honest, there's going to be some characters that just don't fit well on the big screen that DC have, but you can still use very well on other stories, but for an animated TV series. But this is the thing, they're not sitting down and planning it out. They're just skipping ahead. They're just trying to get the quicker dollars. You know what I mean? Like, they need to sit down and actually plan it out. Because do you remember the rumors that the Wonder Woman game was meant to be connected to this universe, and then the game got cancelled and blocked? But the thing is that the Wonder Woman game was already in like 3 or 4 years development before James Gunn had even come into it. So it was like, okay, we'll just chuck it in. And a lot of their planning and a lot of the thing isn't making sense. They don't have a direction. They don't have a end game. Like, Marvel always teased blanking on his name, the Infinity Stones with him off the bat. First Avengers movie.
Thanos.
Not even. Yeah, Thanos. You know what I mean? Like, at least there was always that there. Whereas these guys,
They don't know what they're doing.
They're just trying to.
Literally, it's like I said earlier. It's a school cafeteria food fight. It's a whole bunch of different stuff that they're throwing around, and whatever sticks is what they're gonna keep. That is the cut and dry of it. And then when you look at like the DC storyline with the mother box, so spoilers again, I guess, if you've not looked into it, the power boxes that you kind of saw in Justice League, those are called mother boxes unless they serve Apocalypse, and then they're called father boxes. They're both energy cubes, like power cubes, but essentially like it's the same. It's similar to the Infinity Stone, but like the ability of the boxes and what they do and what is what's dangerous about them is if you misuse them, I mean, you're going to bring about the apocalypse, just like with Thanos and the Infinity Stones and the Snap, like, right? So that's why Apocalypse has the father boxes, and you've got Darkseid. There's so much. I mean, these comics, these stories are almost 100 years old. Mm-hmm. They're almost 100 years old. They've been around a long time. They've survived
just
for
go back,
a reason.
Dude, there's so many good stories you could do with the Joker, with Killer Croc. There's so many good stories, and that's just Batman, right? And it's just like, dude, what are we doing? Actually, what are we doing?
If you compare the villain, the different theaters of villains between Marvel and DC, it's not even close. First of all, give me one arch enemy in Marvel that is anywhere close to the Joker. First off, obviously, out the gate, nobody's touching Joker. Then you've got Riddler. Then you've got
Penguin.
You've got Penguin. You've got Scarecrow. You've got Mr. Freeze. You've got
that's just Batman's villains, dude.
Those
you know what I mean?
Batman's villains.
Yeah, and it's just like, dude.
And then if you go to Superman's villains, like wasn't like the Toymaker.
Yep.
I don't understand. And of course, you've got Lex Luthor, who is of course
I'm gonna be honest. So host Atako put in Green Goblin. I'm gonna be honest. As much as the first suit, like Spider-Man, right? The first Spider-Man, as much as he was, he's up there, right? I'm gonna be honest. I think Joker's still a much better villain.
I agree.
I love Green Goblin. Hell, I honestly believe him and Doc Ock. I believe those two carried the the Spider-Man film where all three Spider-Men came together.
No Way Home. Yeah, they.
Yeah, I thought those two guys were the best part of that film, and
absolutely.
I still think.
And then when you
Joker's better.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I was just saying. I still think Joker's better, even with those performances, and still with all that.
Well, yeah, put Green Goblin up against General Zod, or Brainiac, or Darkseid, or Bizarro, or
Boomerang.
Like, you can't.
Flash. Flash is dude. Come on.
Doctor Doom, Magneto, and Mr. Sinister.
Alright, Doctor Doom is pretty good.
Doctor Doom is fine, but he's not. I'm sorry, Brainiac beats Doctor Doom.
And I think just as a villain, Joker's still just sick and twisted. You know what I mean?
Villain.
And I just, like
he's a perfect villain.
He is the opposite of Batman, and that's why he's so good. Like, dude, like, never in my life have I hated someone so much. First time watching, was it The Killing Joke? A Death in the Family. Sorry,
Death in the Family. I knew exactly where we were going. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like that. It's too good. And then The Killing Joke. At the end, I was so like, what the fuck? It's just Joker. It's so like.
You're absolutely correct, Jody. You are absolutely correct.
Yeah, the key has always been writing. Yeah, especially with Joker, and that's why a lot of like Riddler's hard to write. I've not seen a good Riddler in a good while. Like TV shows keep messing him up, movies keep messing him up. Riddler is I'd be scared to write Riddler. He's a tough writer.
Yes, he is you need a skilled, experienced writer for Joker or for Riddler, 100%.
Yeah, because you run into the problem of just making him the Joker. Which is not, though. That's the thing. He's not. A lot of people they make him. It's like even some animated ones. I was like, it's a bit more Jokerish than the Riddler. And so yeah, I'd actually be super afraid to write the Riddler, man. If I'm being honest.
Well, I think this this video kind of sums it up. Just kidding.
She's gone.
I'm not. I ran away. One sec. I gotta make sure that I actually share audio on this one. Because this gentleman, now, I've said it. Others in our spheres have said, you've said it, Lethal said it, Epic Mike has said it, Disbrew has said it, Gary has said, like, lots of people have said it. But we're not normies. Like, I think, Maz, we can, are we normie when it comes to some stuff? Sure, but I think we can both admit that we are.
DC, I'm a fucking big nerd on.
Yeah, right? So,
yeah.
So it's always interesting to sort of be like, what does the average non-invested individual think about this kind of stuff? So, here, let's listen to this gentleman right here, Mr. Fitzy50.
Is it just me, guys, or has TV gone to shit? Turn it on, I'm like, oh, cool, new show, let's watch it. First episode was actually pretty good, got me into it. I'm like, hell yeah, let's watch this, baby. Second episode, gay shit. That one's done. Let's try another one. 5 minutes in, gay shit. Well, fuck it, let's try watching a movie. Oh, cool, it's called Death and Destruction to the World. No way there'll be gay shit in this. What do you know? More gay shit. Ooh, you're a homophobe. No, I just don't want to see gay shit in every single fucking thing. That don't make me a homophobe. That makes me a normal motherfucking person. You know, maybe I'm just a weird one because I don't want to see gay shit all the fucking time. This show, gay shit. That show, gay shit. This movie, really good, then some gay shit. Well, just watch it. It's only a couple minutes. That's not the fucking point. It ruins the whole fucking movie. I'm tired of fucking seeing the gay shit. In closing, another show's ruined, and this is pretty freaking gay.
And when he's talking about, like, the gay shit, like, that's referring to all of this DEI bullshit. Like, that's what he's talking about. You can tell that he is a true normie. There is nothing. Like, look at this man's walls. Look at the walls. There's nothing. He's got a little boat back here that looks like it's just been chilling. He's got a key lanyard. This man's walls are bare. Bare bones. Crazy eyes. He's got them crazy eyes. But, like, look at this. He
does have the crazy eyes.
There's nothing on this man's walls. They're, like... This man is as normie as this shit can get. And he's like, bro, what the hell? Like, he's noticing it. It's in everything. All this DEI, all this woke propaganda. And now it's ESG. Like, they just changed the name, but it's the same thing. And they've got their check boxes. Superman wasn't allowed to be Superman in his own movie. Mr. Terrific got the only true individual superhero moment of the entire movie. That, like, nobody was allowed to shine because there were too many characters and there wasn't enough screen time. Krypto got way too much. You saw Clark Kent twice for a grand total of, like, 6 minutes of screen time. You actually got to see Clark Kent. Like, and Superman is just kind of doing stuff. Like, I mean, outside of his 10-minute interview with Lois, where he still he goes back and forth between Superman and Clark Kent, it's very bizarre. Like, that scene is wildly bizarre, and he never has control of himself, the situation, of Krypto, ever. It's bad. Lois carries him twice. Lois carries him. And people will be like, oh no, he was just hanging off her shoulder. That's carrying him. That is called carrying him. It might not be the bridal carry, that She-Hulk did from her television show, but it's just as bad. It's Superman getting carried by Lois twice. It's Superman getting rescued by Crypto like 4 times. It's Superman getting rescued by the Justice Gang like multiple times. It's Superman's reputation. Like, here's the thing. They never once refute the message from his parents. Everybody just kind of forgets about it because it comes out that, oh, the multi-billion-dollar psychopath is actually a bad guy. Yeah, no kidding. Like, oh, you mean he was out to get Superman the entire time? No kidding. Really? Like, oh my gosh. So it's just more of every man in the film cries, by the way. And when I say cries, I mean there are points where the men are weeping. They are weeping. Like, I could not freaking believe what I was seeing. It's terrible. I'm ready for good storytelling. Ready. Whenever you are, Hollywood, I'm ready for good storytelling. I am so ready for good storytelling, and then you won't have to have headlines like this, where your Superman film, the reboot of your entire DC universe under your new co-studio head, is falling below projections on the first night that it is open to the masses. That's a problem. I would be crapping myself if I was an investor, if I was a shareholder, if I was Peter Safran or David Zaslav or James Gunn. I would be pooping my pants right now. Because quite frankly, if Jurassic World can make $365 million in its opening weekend, Superman
and
should
apparently
be
it's shit. Apparently it's absolute garbage. To be fair, that there are dinosaurs in that film.
Yes.
So maybe that's what Superman needs. Maybe that's the lesson
There's kaiju in it. That Mr. Terrific kills, not Superman.
Put a T-Rex in and watch that money fly out, boy. But yeah, Superman should not be losing. As much as like dinosaurs are cool and shit, Superman should never lose to a Jurassic World film.
If anything, it should be a Barbenheimer situation where you go to both. That's what should be happening.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. You should be like planning out a day at the cinema where it's like morning time, Jurassic World, night, like whatever time you go to Superman. Boom, boom, right? It should be a day event of going to both, but here we are where Superman is somehow, dude, like, imagine, like, what? What? Like,
I put on Twitter, there was a time where Superman would have had no problem filling seats. There was a time where it sold out.
The only time it wouldn't have been like sold out is towards the end of its run with a couple of films, right? Because everyone has already seen it.
Everybody talks about diminishing returns, but here's the thing. Harry Potter had 8 films, and it only grew. Its run only grew.
Because it was good. It got better and better.
Exactly. It got better and better and better. I mean, it's like, there are some films in there that are just like the 5th film, the 4th film, like they're objectively not shot well. There's problems with it, but everybody loved the story, and so they stuck with it, right?
It became the thing to talk about. Honestly, that was our Star Wars. That was like the younger, like it got so big. Like, it was, if you missed it, you're missing out on lunchtime talk. You're missing, you know what I mean? Like, that was what we talked about on the playground, right? And shit like that. So, and now Superman is not even, dude, we never talked about Superman. We talked about Batman because, you know, the films, but my generation,
because Christopher Nolan delivered.
Yeah, I don't think my generation has had a good Superman film.
No, there hasn't been a good one. So Brandon Roth's one and only Superman, everybody was like, well, what happened to the first one? Because for some reason they called his first film Superman Returns. And so again, everybody was really confused because they thought they missed a Superman movie. And so everybody's like, where's the other one? Like, where's the first one? And they're like, no, it is the first one. And they're like, why are you calling it Superman Returns? And so that
He's
was a
back.
problem because everybody was really confused. Then you get Man of Steel, which had like, it was like I think Man of Steel was like 675 million or whatever for its box office
And
run.
I did not like Man of Steel.
I didn't either. I liked it better than this trash though. But like that just goes to show you they haven't done. This is the third revamp, the third reboot, the third iteration, whatever you want to call it, of Superman in 2 decades, and they haven't done it right. And so younger millennials, Gen Z, and Gen Alpha, who are like the 12-year-olds and under or whatever,
we don't care about Superman.
Yeah,
honestly, like
unless we haven't been given a reason to. There hasn't been a good Superman iteration.
And even the comics are shit, right? Like people, we don't read
comics. Yes, they are.
Yeah, we don't read comics. We read manga, and that's why anime is getting bigger and bigger. Because we read manga, we watch anime and stuff like that. That's why
storytelling.
Yes,
it's because manga stuck to stories, and comic books went into activism, and they went into lecturing, and they went into LGBTQAI plus representation, and they went into feminism and intersectionalism and ESG. They're pushing all of this propaganda and all of this agenda, and they're not telling stories. They're not telling stories. And so I know, Jose Taco, I know that. The problem is the problem is that the marketing for that film was almost non-existent, and it was very confusing to anybody that like heard about it after they were like, what do you mean Superman Returns? Like, where's the first one of Brandon Roth? Because it did not get explained that this was supposed to be like the number 5, right? Like this wasn't it didn't get explained well. And again, Brandon did a fine job, but the writing for that film was terrible. Have you ever seen it?
No, I haven't actually.
It was not good. I said at the beginning, I said it in my live reaction, and it's in my video that should be out tomorrow. Henry Cavill, Brandon Roth, and now David Cornsweet all can have they look like Superman. They sound like Superman. They have the talent to embody Superman. They are undercut by bad writing and bad directing.
Why is that always the case with Superman? The writers can never ever get it.
People are not trying to tell, because people are just like, well, nobody can actually relate to Superman, so I'm going to tell Superman the way I think he should be. Like, it's their hubris coming out. Like, that is the problem. They're all like, oh, nobody actually relates to Superman. So I'm going to put him on screen the way I see him, and it'll fix Superman. And it flops every single freaking time. So I cannot imagine. Everybody called me crazy when I said this, but with the marketing,
I just call you that anyway.
With the marketing and with the word of mouth, if this film gets over, I don't think this film crosses 400 million.
Oh, really?
I don't think it crosses 400. I think.
Well, you know, I like all my friends aren't watching it. I'm going to go watch it. They all just said like they would rather just wait for it to
There's
go
been
on streaming.
None of the marketing has brought. None of the marketing makes you want to go see this movie. If anything, the marketing turned me off of this film. Yeah. It was so bad. The marketing was terrible. And then you get to the film, and it's just kind of there. And then you leave the film, and nobody, like, I left my theater, it was dead quiet. There wasn't really a reaction. I called my husband, and I was like, it was a disappointment. I was like, Superman gets kicked.
When did the film drop?
Tonight, globally.
Because you can already pre-order it on like Prime Video.
Yep.
I'm looking at it right now. You can already, it doesn't have a date for it, doesn't have anything, but you can, it's $35 and you can pre-order it. What the fuck? I've never seen that before.
Yep.
Superman 2025. Yeah, and it's the same shit trailer as the first one, so it is the right one. What the fuck?
Yep. So the thing is, like, this is not going to motivate people to go to the theaters. It isn't a it's not a Deadpool and Wolverine. You haven't earned that. That's the other thing. DC thinks that they're entitled to all of this stuff, and they're not. James Gunn thinks he's entitled to this giant, massive audience, and he's not. What these Hollywood execs don't seem to understand is you have to prove yourself every single time. I was having a discussion on X with somebody because they were like, well, he's setting this up for the next film. It's the next film. And I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, why are, like, that is cope. Like, why would I give him a second chance? And they're like, well, that's really up to you. But, like, I see where he's going. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. He had to deliver on this film. He had to deliver on this film in particular. Like, not next film, not the next Superman film, not Supergirl, not Batman Brave and the Bold, which is his Batman, because Matt Reeves' The Batman 2 has nothing to do with this DC universe, but is still going forward, right? So Batman Brave and the Bold is his Batman script that he is going to be pushing forward for his universe, while Matt Reeves' Batman is going to be happening in the background, because it's the only thing that has made them money. Like, and that is just a fact. So you cannot be like, no, just wait for the next film. No, I'm not going to wait for the next film. He had to nail this one. He had to nail this film. You have to earn it every single time. Yes, this had to be a perfect Superman film. This had to be a perfect Superman film. So he could have shut up all the naysayers. He could have canceled out any doubt. But all he did was reconfirm the worst fears. James Gunn cannot do a single character. He is an ensemble cast director and writer. That's who and what he is. He is a one-trick pony. And quite frankly, it's not even that good of a trick.
Yeah. Honestly, Guardians 1 and 2, fucking great. I haven't watched the third yet. It just...
I hated number 2. I hated number 2, and number 3 was a slog for me. The other thing... was
good.
I did not think 2 was good for multiple reasons, but I really, like, I think my biggest hang-up with 2 was that Peter's dad was a homicidal god.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with deconstructing fathers. I'm done with deadbeat dads in Hollywood. Please stop.
Dude.
Please stop with the bad dad trope.
Oh, trust me, I'm a kid in the early 2000s. That's all that's been happening. Avatar, Last Airbender, Naruto, fucking everything. They're a hero, then they turn to a shit dad, apparently. It's so overdone. Like, fuck off with that story, dude. It's so annoying and overdone.
Absolutely, like, 100%.
I think the worst that I've seen it in a good while is Avatar, The Last Airbender. Making Aang a bad dad was just so stupid. Yeah. That trope is so overdone. Stop. It's not even a good storytelling as well.
It's not a good storytelling technique. It's not a good trope. Nobody likes it. And it's literally because they don't want you to have heroes and they don't want you to have anything to aspire to. That's what it is. And people hate that because here's the thing. Most men are not that way. But it has just been saturating Hollywood lately to the point where you would think that that's how all men are when they become fathers. Like, I'm so sick of it in every single medium. I really, truly am. But now we've got David Cornsweet, who has a bad dad from Jor-El. I'm so freaking over it. And you've got
which is stupid because he was. How many stories, actual good stories of like Superman's beaten down and then he finds the hologram of his dad and that's the inspiration. Now the inspiration in a future movie like we were talking about before is going to be to take over Earth or some stupid thing and he's going to have to get stopped. and it's just like, dude, stop, please stop with this shit.
Yep, I am ready. I am ready for it to end. I am ready for it to be done. I am over this. The bad dad, the evil male, the evil white male, the all of it. Like, stop. Nobody wants it. 0 people want this. People are sick of it. Because I know DC watches all of my streams. DC. David's like, I am not even kidding you. If I wish this is going to be the one time I wish that I was just like a reckless individual who didn't care about responsibility, like all of these protesters and activists who just show up and like scream at people and waste their lives, but somehow live in multi-million-dollar apartment complexes or multi-million-dollar homes. I wished I didn't have anything going on in my life like them, kind of, so that I could show up on DC's lot and yell at David Zaslav. Like, how do you screw up Superman 3 times in 2 decades? How? How could you possibly be that incompetent? And why would you give J.J. Abrams $500 million? You paid the man before he did anything, before he delivered anything. They just handed him $500 million, and he was like, cool, thanks. And nothing came of it. And then you hired James Gunn, who is known specifically for ensemble parts, ensemble cast, ensemble movies only. The Suicide Squad, ensemble. Guardians of the Galaxy, ensemble. Like, everything that Gunn does, the Creature Commandos, animated ensemble. Peacemaker, ensemble. Like, you're killing me with this. Just make me a good Superman show. This is not hard. It's really not. Don't sit there and be like, yeah, I'm going to pull from the comics. And then you pull some of the most out of context, ridiculous parts from the comics that make sense in the comics and build up the world around you, but you just drop them in the middle of the movie. Again, I'm going to go back to Lois pouring sugar. Like, it's the whole gag where she has the sugar upside down for like a solid 25 seconds. She's pouring sugar into the very little coffee, right? But at no other point do you see her with like like, she usually has like licorice or gum. Like, she has some type of junk food candy with her. At no other point in the film do you ever see her with junk food or sugar. It's just for the one gag. It's for one time, for the one gag. And then he can claim, oh no, that's from the comics. No, her being a junk food addict is from the comics. What you are doing, what you have done, is you've taken one aspect, you've dropped it into your show for a gag. Sorry, where I come from, everything is a show. The movie, the film, the show. You've dropped it in there for a gag, and that's it. You don't build on it. It's not actually a part of her character. You do nothing with it. It goes nowhere. And that is true of so much stuff in this film. Something gets dropped in there, and then it's never touched again. Something gets dropped in, and it's never touched again. It's just a bunch of stuff happening on screen. But you don't, it's literally junk food on screen. You walk away, you're not satisfied, you're not full, and you're not even really sure what you just saw. It was colorful, it was loud, there was a kaiju that breathes fire, which, by the way, all the people in that office are dead. But I'm gonna move away from that as well. Like,
Godzilla!
So
that's what we want. Give me -2, baby.
Hello, Mr. So I'm gonna check the chat really quick because we've been going for 2 hours. Hello, everyone who is all here. Da 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 da. Okay, so there is Maza Solomak was the last time. So Fletcher Williams. Hello. I don't consider the Joker a DC film. That is fair. Like I said, it's a stretch to call it a DC film because it wasn't marketed under DC. It was marketed under Warner Brothers. Yeah. Legioness, oh, you are always such a gentleman and a scholar. Brimstone, he should stay away from Star Wars. Yes, he should. He is
Stay
commenting
away
on
from
this.
everything.
David Corn Sweat saying that he would rather go play a Jedi Knight in Star Wars than return as Superman after his first outing as Superman. He already is done with the character, apparently.
Which is crazy. He just
yeah, that's
film
insane.
just came out.
Mad Dog Conroy, Superman is here. The Superman weekend, or Mazza is here. The Superman weekend is saved. Yes, absolutely. That's why we brought him.
You're welcome.
Hello. Ancient One, how's it going? Hello, Lady Weirdmaster, Mazza, and chat. Yes, hello, chat. Stephen Ortega, hello, Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, who else? Insanity, welcome. After Nerdrotic's review, I do not want to see Superman, and that saddens me. Yes, Gary's review dropped today. Lots of reviews dropped today. My review, my live reaction out of the theater review from Tuesday is up. There are heavy spoilers. I will have my video review out hopefully sometime tomorrow. So yes. Vespian, the glory of Rome is forever. Going tomorrow. Oh, you are? I would say have fun, but
that's the most craziest profile picture I've ever seen.
I know, right? If you have taste, you're not gonna have fun. Shield Wall of Dragons, what's up? What is up? Jody G198, we've said yes, the writing is everything. Hello, Jody. Jose Taco, hello. There was some issues, but the movie was okay. My 18-year-old is very knowledgeable in the comics, and he told me that parts of the character of Superman are in every era of comic books and shows. That's what I said. Like, that's the problem. It's like somebody took 6 or 7 comics from every age of, like, from the Bronze Age, from the Silver Age, from the Golden Age, from the Steel Age. Like, it's like they took a couple comics from each one, threw it in a blender, mixed it up, and then just, like, pulled stuff out. That's it. And it doesn't... He doesn't have an identity. You're not like, this is Golden Age Superman. This is Bronze Age Superman. Like, you don't have that moment or those moments of, like, this is Superman. That never happens. And that is a problem. That's part of why Endgame was such a cultural touchstone. Yes, exactly. You're talking a payoff of over decades. Lavender, what's going on? Endgame was terrible. I agree. Infinity War, much better. Mr. Droll, thank you. Marvel was well put together in Phase 1 because there was passion behind it. From Phase 2 came about the corpo touch that was creeping in. Yes, absolutely. Hello, Mr. Dro. Azadan Pepin, Darkseid, bitch. Yep. Steeg, hello. I'm doing alright. I had to sit through Superman, so it was not good. Bad writing destroys good stories. Good writing improves bad stories. Yes. And good acting can only do so much. So, Brimstone. Jurassic World only had a $180 million budget. Yeah, that's gonna definitely help, especially when it had a $300+ million opening weekend. I mean, shoot. So, we'll go back. Alright, let's bring out our calculators. So, 180 million. Okay. So times 0.5 for for marketing. Okay, just so you guys know where it's coming from. So 90. So we add the 180 back to the 90 million. So 270 production budget. Okay. And then you got to multiply by 2.5 it's got to make 2.5 times its budget roughly in order to pay back everything and break even. So it still needs to make 675 million, but it got halfway there in its opening weekend. It's halfway to its break-even point, which I don't see Superman getting halfway to 1.4 billion anytime soon. Definitely not opening weekend. Yes, Fantastic Four is not next week. It's the week it's the week after, the 25th of July.
Which is insane.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four is 2 weeks away. But yeah, it's just bad. I think I got, and yes, Miss Martin, I highlighted you earlier. Hello, Miss Martin Muses. She is such a treasure. I love her. And then I think that's so Brown Eyes of Mandalore just got back from seeing Superman. It was so bad. Yes, it was. Everyone in the theater was grumbling except for one obnoxious weirdo clapping for every crypto scene. James Gunn has ruined DC. Yeah.
That was me, dude.
Yep. Yep. The Sean Gunn cameo was ridiculous. So Sean Gunn's cameo at the end, he literally says, well, at least there's one thing that Republicans and Democrats can agree on. Lex Luthor sucks. That's his cameo.
Lit.
JJ's other show was just canceled. Yes, it was. It was so bad. My favorite part was seeing the Justice Gang building. That's the Cincinnati Museum, which I grew up going to. Only part I enjoyed. Yeah, okay, but that's nostalgia for you specifically. Like, that's the other thing too. Like, I'm glad that I'm so glad that that was there for you. But imagine if it wasn't. Imagine if it was someplace else. You know what I mean? Like, that is so niche to you. Nobody, like, only the people that grew up going to the Cincinnati Museum are going to really appreciate that. You know what I mean? So, did it fail the Bechdel test? No, you had Hawkgirl and you had Lois. They talked to each other. You had what's her name, Grant or Grace or whatever, the other reporter at the Daily Planet talking to Lois, about like work and stuff. So it didn't actually fail the Bechdel test. It did not. But it is what it is. Proven 22X. Hello. Critical Nerd. I'm seeing Superman tomorrow afternoon with a review to follow sometime later, probably after FNT. I wish you the best, sir, because it was a slog for me. The pace moves so fast because it doesn't want you to like think about anything, but all this stuff is happening on screen, but nothing of substance actually happens. So, like, it's not good. There's no plot. It's so contrived. Stuff just happens because it needs to happen. It's not a good time. I was half expecting, and I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids from Luthor. Yep. Yes, he gives off that Scooby-Doo villain.
It might have been better if it had Scooby-Doo. Dude, you know what I really want? You know what I really want? Because it was 20 years since the second film came out, or was it the first film? The director and Shaggy, I believe, got together and they were talking about the film again. Dude, we need a third one. With all these shit movies coming out, that would be the one to save us. You want a good film? We need a live-action Scooby-Doo 3.
You know James Gunn did the live-action Scooby-Doo, right?
Did he? Not the first one.
Yeah. Yep, that was Gunn.
Did he?
Yep.
Oh, God, you need to
It's an ensemble cast. Of course James Gunn was involved. It was an ensemble cast.
You need to fuck off from Superman and give us the real hero, Scooby-Doo. You're already trying to use the dog apparently too much. You got a big dog right here. Scooby-Doo.
The Great Dane, 50% like this film. 50%.
Yeah, I'm actually seeing.
They needed 95% of people to like this film.
Which is
I know
weird.
what Rotten Tomatoes is saying, but you got to remember there are a ton of crap movies. Captain Marvel is sitting at like a 91 or something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. So I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes as far as I can throw them. I will. Here, we'll go really quick. I'll bring it back up. Let's go look at critic lists, and see what they say, because that I have noticed is a bit more like just the average moviegoer. That's their average. Like it much better reflects like the average person. Oh, look at that! You guys are gonna get to see my name off to the side because I made an account just for this, but apparently I'm not the only one. This thing has a 51 on critic lists. It's a 51 as opposed to like a 95 or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes. So the reviews here, let's see. So the verdict is it's a 51%. That's the different stuff that's in there. Okay, so I won't show you guys my review, but Jackson Loves Nintendo apparently thought it was most excellent. Profound Lore gave it a 71. Lake One and Guy gave it a 61. Smallville CK gave it a 70. And then you get into somebody gave it a 5. Heinous.
Yeah, I was gonna say how are they kind of normie towards DC? Because it seems like a lot of the normie audience who just want explosions and shit. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It seems to be they're fine with the film from
Yes,
what
the
I can
normies who
tell.
don't care about storytelling or DC and just want the people who want an action movie with big explosions. If you are looking for a Transformers film,
Exactly. Yeah.
but with Superman, this is your
Yeah.
show. If you want to watch a movie where Superman gets kicked in the balls and called a wuss by Gar Gardner and a bitch by Supergirl, and you don't care that there's no plot and you just want big explosions and bright colors, this Superman is for you. Hate and criticism seems to come from a lot of older viewers who simply want a new coat of paint on the old interpretation of Superman.
So we want our story. We want it to be Superman.
Yeah.
What?
So you want Superman.
We want Superman. No, okay, that's
Superman is not beta. Yes, he is. And then, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. No, Superman's not beta. And then follows it up with this caveat. Although I do wish he was able to go a little harder in the fight scenes, but I suppose that goes against his characterization. This person doesn't know a thing about Superman.
yeah.
This person doesn't know anything about Superman.
It seems like a lot of the people who are liking it are more on the normie side of things,
I'm
especially towards.
downloading this.
Yeah, that's a dumb review. We want Superman in our Superman film.
Yeah, these people just want a Superman in their Superman film. What a bunch of crybabies! Like, what the what?
What a fucking loser, dude.
Idiot?
Yeah. So I think I'm kind of.
look.
Oh yeah, Big
Mr.
Phil. Big
Phil.
Phil.
Marvel style comedy ruins a lot of the serious scenes. Yep, said that.
Yeah.
Decent, bogus, decent. Oh look, Drunk 3PO with his decent. You can go check out his vid too. Rad, decent, most excellent, decent, heinous, decent. It literally goes back with heinous, bogus, decent, bogus. Like this is actually insane when you look at. I mean, the people that like it is freaking Tom. Tom and I disagree on almost everything. Tom's taste does not. Oh, thank you, Jose Taco. Tom's taste, I don't think I've agreed with him on anything pop culture ever. So.
And how much of it do you think is just because we've gotten so much shit that this is somewhat decent?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As well, it's like okay, because I'll be honest, it just sounds awful. It really does.
James Gunn's Superman felt like Guardians of the Galaxy, but with Superman. A lot of jokes didn't land. In my opinion, I believe with a better script, this movie would have turned out amazing. Everybody is saying, like, we wish it had been a better script. I honestly hope this isn't the tone for the DCU moving forward. P.S. I was overly harsh. I understand I was overly harsh about this movie, but like,
this is gonna sound fucked up because this hurts me saying this. I want to see a James Gunn Batman film because
he'd probably be able to do it.
What the fuck does that entail? Because
Jeremy gave it a 30.
Damn,
that's higher than me.
Him trying to do dark is gonna be interesting. Like he might actually not. He's gonna die, dude. His brain's gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. No, I hope. I'll be honest. I hope it is just a one and done for him. If I'm being honest. I know
after seeing this, I hope so too. I hope so too. Like I wanted this to be good. Before I went to the theater, I posted a short and I was like, I just want a good film. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking to be groundbreaking. I'm not asking you to reinvent Hollywood. I just want a fantastic Superman film. That's all I want. And he couldn't even give us that. So I'm done. Like these guys don't get second. I'm not going to give a multi-billion-dollar company second chances when they've trashed us, when they've belittled us, when they make fun of us and mock us, and then they can't even deliver a decent product. Like, why would I do that? Got me thinking the budget for this must be in the $400 million. We did the math, Jody. If that's true, they barely break even, that's still terrible. Okay, so once again, before the tax credits, Okay, so 363 million. All right, then you multiply that by 50% because that gives you your usually that gives you your production budget, right? Except we know the marketing budget for this is actually 250 million. So the marketing is 250 million. The production budget is 363 million per Ohio tax documents. So that means on production alone, they spent $613 million. Now you have to multiply this number times 2.5 because they have to pay, not only do they have to cover production and marketing costs, they have to pay theaters, their cut, they have to pay investors, they have to pay shareholders, they have to pay, they have to pay everybody out their cut, right? So they have to make, on average, they have to make, on average, 2.5 times their budget in order to break even. So when you take 613 million, okay, so 363 million plus 250 million, all right, that's based off of their Ohio tax documents and off of what like Hollywood Reporter and everyone has been reporting for their unprecedented marketing campaign. 250 million for marketing, 363 million for production. That gives you $613 million total production budget. So when you multiply that by 2.5, in order to break even, this film would have to make $1.5 billion to break even. Now, let's say they get the tax credits from Ohio. They're claiming that the film's only going to cost $225 million. That's what they're claiming. So best case scenario, we'll take them at their word for that. So best case scenario, we'll say 225 million, okay, which is not going to be that cheap because nowhere are you going to get 160 million plus in tax credits. But 225 million plus a $250 million marketing campaign budget brings you to 475 million. When you multiply that by 2.5, okay, we're following the same logic, all right, multiply that by 2.5, they have to make $1.187.5 billion to break even. Best case scenario, they basically need $1.2 billion to break even. In the best case scenario. You should not be breaking even at 1.2 billion. Am I wrong, Maza? Like,
no,
1.2 billion to break even.
If your thing is to get to $1 billion, like you have to, you're fucked. You should not be spending on one film, especially, I know it's a big name, Superman. The budget is way too high. I don't know how many reshoots or whatever. If you have a film at this, like that budget, I'm gonna be honest, someone is probably snorting it. I'm gonna be honest, there's probably some money laundering. Like, I'd be looking into it. You know what I mean? Like, is Gunn taking it? Is someone doing drugs with it? Because there is no way. Because I've seen like the trailers and stuff. I know some of the CGI was a bit worse than what it was in the trailers. But even the newer trailers and the ads that I've been seeing, just around, the CGI doesn't look that incredible. It doesn't look that crazy. It doesn't look anything. It's like it didn't take it to the next level. It didn't. Nope. It looks worse, right, than a lot of the other stuff. And it's like, if you are that high budget, I'd be investigating some motherfuckers because someone's
The fact that best case scenario, you need 1.2 billion to break even. You've got a problem. Now people are gonna be like, no, this film only needs they're like, no, this film, because they're gonna take the 225 million and they're gonna be like, oh, the production budget was 225 million. Superman made its money back. It didn't. No, it didn't. We all know how this works. You can try and they'll cover it up for while the movie is in the theater, and then once the movie is out of the theater, like a week later or whatever, they can be like, okay, now we can really talk about how Superman flopped. Do you understand? If this film doesn't hit 100 million this weekend, I'm sorry, James Gunn is cooked.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Not only it's bad at it, I mean this in if it doesn't hit 100 million domestic this weekend, if it doesn't hit 100 million domestic this weekend, James Gunn wrote and directed this film, and then he spent millions of dollars of marketing of
Marketing.
himself front and center. He has
Mhm.
tied himself to this film irrevocably.
It's James Gunn's
It is
Superman.
James Gunn's Superman.
Yep,
There
James
is-
Gunn's DCEU. You know,
Yep.
it's
He
all
can't-
him.
It is all him. He cannot get
Mhm.
out of this. So
Nope.
when he's the one saying, "Oh, if it doesn't hit 700 million, that's okay," it's not okay. It's
No.
not. He needs, in best case, guys, this is best case scenario. He needs pretty much 1.2 billion to break even. In the best case scenario.
You know the worst thing is, I could see. You know how the Batgirl film got canned halfway through, millions of dollars spent on that. If this film flops, I could see that happening to the Supergirl film.
I could too.
I could see Warner Brothers losing faith in it, not wanting to spend any more money on it, and just cutting their losses.
Or
Before
cutting
it comes out.
heavily back on the budget, because that is also supposed to be a high budget film.
Mm-hmm.
Warner Brothers is in debt up to their eyeballs. They cannot keep spending money like this. And then, so let's say that, okay, so let's say, because Jody has 400 million, right? So Jody, we're going to say that we're going to go with your figure of 400 million on the dot. We won't do the 225 plus the 250, which is 475, okay? We'll say that that marketing and production, the whole production budget with marketing included is 400 million. We'll do that, okay? Sound fair, Moza? So we'll say that it's a 400 million total. When you multiply that by 2.5, guess what you get?
Jesus.
You get 1 billion on the nose.
1 billion. You have to get 1 billion. So,
Jody, even if we take Jody's $400 million range, 200 production budget, 200 marketing budget, you need $1 billion. 1 billion on the nose to break even.
This day and age, Superman, I'm sorry, Superman, you're expecting a Superman film in 2025 to hit the number that 3 Spider-Man hit.
Mm-hmm.
It took 3 Spider-Man to hit that number, plus the 2 iconic villains, Green Golem and Doc Ock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're expecting those big names, and you're expecting, I'm sorry, but I didn't even know who this guy was until Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're expecting him to make what that film did? And let's be honest, at that point, I know it started to go down, but it wasn't as bad as it is now, right? It was Spider-Man was still beloved at that time. It still is now, even, right? So a lot more kids, a lot more families know who Spider-Man is. Not fucking Superman, bro.
No, because DC hasn't done anything with him. And Superman becomes public domain in 10 years. In 2035, something like that. He becomes public domain. And so some people are arguing, that's why DC hasn't really done anything with it. I'm like, okay, do you understand how much money you could make in 10 years? Do you understand how public domain works? Because part of Mickey Mouse, so Mickey Mouse, before he was Mickey, when it was Tugboat Willie, all right, the black and white cartoon, that's public domain. Winnie the Pooh is public domain. That doesn't mean that Disney can't make money, and that doesn't mean that if Disney makes a film, that does not mean that everybody can just copy it, because public domain is not the same. The copyright laws they're very mucky. It's a very murky thing to get into. But there is no way that you should be flopping on Superman.
No.
If DC had just practiced some patience and actually invested in storytelling instead of dark anti-hero brooding Superman, I'm sorry, that's Batman. You tried to turn Superman into Batman, and that's not why people love Superman. It's that simple. So, Jody, even with your $400 million, what it needs to break even to pay everything back, it has to hit $1 billion on the nose.
Which is
insane.
a film. you should never. I don't care what film it is. You should never ever, even video games. You should never ever have to hit $1 billion to make a cent. You know what I mean? Like if you make $1 billion, you should be fucking hundreds of millions of dollars fucking in the
profit.
clear. Yeah, not fucking just scraping by, dude. What?
Yep. The fact that you need $1 billion to break even,
Insane.
that is a problem. And like everybody's just like, well, Superman's gonna go public domain, Batman's gonna go public, Wonder Woman will be public shortly thereafter. Like, okay, that doesn't mean you can't do anything with the characters, and that certainly doesn't mean that you should just give up entirely or make crap. Because when did Superman Returns come out? Like 2008? 2005?
Yeah.
Something like that, right? So, because Man of Steel came out in 2012. So, you have tried to reboot Superman 3 times
that's
in
crazy.
2 decades.
2012.
Yeah, so you've tried to reboot Superman 3 times in 2 decades, and you haven't been able to do it. Because you aren't hiring people who actually believe in truth, justice, and the American way, who actually believe in Superman and what he represents. He is a paragon for a reason. And it's absolutely frustrating. So I've said it throughout, but I mean, Maza, you've not seen the film. Are you interested in seeing the film?
No, because the thing is, I should be though, because I'm a mad DC fan. I've watched all the animated shows. I've watched all that. You know what I mean? I've been nonstop. I've even got a couple of comic books, physical, and I mainly get mine online. But I should be like, I should have been like a day oneer. You know what I mean? Like, I should have been the type of guy to chuck a sickie and go to the film. But after the trailers, after all that. Nah, honestly, like, I'm more excited about the next Planet of the Apes film than a fucking Superman film.
That's terrible. I shouldn't laugh, but it's so true.
Honestly, like the last Planet of the Apes is better than this, and people didn't even really like that one, which baffles me. But honestly, like, the next Planet of the Apes film is more hyped, and we don't even have a trailer yet than a Superman film.
Nope.
That should not be the case. As much as I love Planet of the Apes, that should not be the case. And you know what? The next Planet of the Apes is probably going to make more money than a Superman film.
Yeah, because Superman is going to need $1 billion to break even. Best case scenario at 400. If marketing and production was 400 million, like Jody was like, wasn't it 400 million? Even if so best case scenario, $400 million. It needs $1 billion to break even. And but projections are saying 7. Like, James Gunn doesn't even think this is going to make 700 million. James Gunn, the writer and director of this film and the co-head of DC Studios, doesn't think it's going to hit 700 million. That's 300 million shy of what they need to break even. And I stand by what I said. I don't think this thing cracks 400.
I think even how bad the new Predator film looks, I hate the new look of the Predator film. I think that is going to make more money, right? Like, and I don't mean because the budget's high. I actually think there are going to be more people who go and watch the Predator film at the end of the year, Predator Badlands, than Superman. And you think a Predator film should be beating Superman? Fuck no. And that Predator film looks like shit. The last film was shit. Prey was shit. But it's an okay movie, right? So people, because we've been given so much shit, and it's not even the last Predator film. Prey, fucking Predator, Killer of Killers. That film is awful, but it's getting a lot of praise right now, and people are more hyped for that series than Superman. DC should, dude. I love Alien. I love Predator. Like, they're some of my favorite films, but Superman, it should be no question out of doubt which film should do better, and there is. Isn't that that's insane? I can't believe it. Like, it's stupid. Like, I can't believe how far DC's fallen. Warner Brothers.
Either. Like, and the thing is, it almost feels intentional.
It does. It does. That's the thing. You see all these bad calls, the video game industry side of it, the TV series side of it. You see all of that go down, and you just go, is someone playing a joke? Is someone trying to like sell off these IPs to other companies? Because the way, honestly, the way WB is going, they're gonna have to sell off these IPs to stay afloat. They're gonna have to sell Harry Potter to someone else. They're gonna have to sell DC to someone else. Maybe they even go down the route of Marvel. You know how Marvel, when they first started, they had to sell like Spider-Man to Sony and stuff like that. Are they gonna get that desperate? They have to start like selling the
maybe not selling, but they're gonna have to license them out.
Yeah, I could see them getting that desperate soon.
Yep.
And
they are. They absolutely are, but they're trying to find ways around it. That's why DC and DC Warner, so Warner Brothers and is splitting into film and TV side, and the TV side of the business is going to take on all of the debt. So they're reconsolidating all the debt. So now DC Warner Brother Film is debt free, while Warner Television, Warner Discovery Television is saddled with the I think it's somewhere in like the three. Hold on. Before I misquote and somebody like tries to come and nail me for. Actually, that's not true.
Little nerd.
Hey, we gotta do things right, okay? Oh, bro, I was being generous. Okay, so this is per the Hollywood Reporter. So you can take it up with them if you've got a problem with this. I was being generous. Warner Brothers Discovery's $37 billion in debt will be spun off into their TV network, says its CEO.
Damn. No wonder.
$37 billion in debt. And your new Superman film needs $1 billion to break even? Are you freaking kidding me?
Why are they spending so much on a fucking movie then?
Because they're idiots. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Whoever is making these are not business decisions. These are emotional decisions. I was gonna say that Warner Brothers was like $6 or $7 billion in debt. No. They are $37 billion in debt. 37 with a B. $37 billion in debt. And you just spent, best case scenario, $400 million on a Superman film that needs $1 billion to break even.
Holy fuck.
That is
They're a lot more fucked than I initially thought. Holy shit. No wonder.
And here's the thing. This company owns 4 of the greatest IPs ever created.
They should be... Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is Warner Brothers. Harry Potter is Warner Brothers. Superman is Warner Brothers. Batman is Warner Brothers. That is who they have.
They should be billions of dollars safe.
Yes, they should
not
be
in
so
debt.
deep in the they should be so deep in the green that it is Scrooge McDuck swimming through their cash. That is what they should be doing.
You think about all the Lord of the Rings merchandise, all the DC merchandise, all the Harry Potter merchandise. What the? I'm telling you, someone's snorting it, because there ain't no fucking way that these films are costing that much, right? They don't even look good. That's the thing; they look like shit.
They do look like shit.
All the costumes look awful. It looks like they cheap out on everything. Even the CGI looks awful.
I can't believe I was sitting here, I was like, I think it's around 10, but I don't think it's that high if I remember right. I forgot. They are $37 billion in debt when they are sitting on the Lord of the Rings rights, the Harry Potter rights, which they are now going to jack up because they miscast one of the most important characters in the entire series, and it's going to change the tone of so many scenes. Mudblood is going to have a different meaning entirely. The fact that Harry's mom didn't get with Snape and went with James instead, who bullied Severus. Oh my gosh, they hung him from a tree at one point. That context completely changes now too. It's just insane. It's insane. 37 billion in debt. Who else? Oh, they have the Monsterverse. They've got Mission Impossible.
Holy shit! Legendary, yeah.
They've got all the Monsterverse too.
What
They
the
have
fuck?
Dracula. They've got Dracula. They've got Werewolf. They've got all of it. They've got the Mummy. That's them. Or is that Universal?
Holy shit!
Help me. Is that Universal?
I can't remember, but holy fuck!
Hold on, let me look.
If that's true,
does DC have the?
Because they're definitely Monsterverse because they're legendary, right?
Yeah, they have some of it. They have some of it. They don't have all of it. Yeah, they have legendary. Okay, so they have Monsterverse from the legendary. Universal has the rest of it. So I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing?
They just had a big deal with Apple not too long ago as well. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah. 37 billion in debt. Here, hold on. It's safe to assume that the majority of Warner Brothers Discovery $37 billion debt will exist in the spun-off Global Networks television because, TV is doing so great right now. It's too early to talk about a target capital structure. Oh my gosh.
Don't you think it's too late?
Oh my god.
Not too early, too late.
We haven't made any final decisions yet? What?
See, this is what I'm saying. WB, they don't have a plan anywhere. Even their Monsterverse now has started. It seemed like they had a plan for it after the first Kong vs Godzilla. After that, it's just been going downhill again, right? A couple of the films were kind of mid, but they always were leading up to Kong vs Godzilla. And now after that film, they don't know where to go. It's oh my god, because when Kong and Godzilla worked together to fight that other monkey, Godzilla should have been able to take him out by himself, but and now the supernova thing that they're doing as well. The next film, it's in production. I mean, fuck, you could probably see it where I am. It's in.
If I said this at a job, if we were $37 billion in debt, and I worked in finance, and somebody walked in and was like, "Hey, what do we need to do?" And I said, "It's too early to talk about it because we've not made any final decisions. And, there's a lot we need to work through between now and when this deal closes." What?
Did they scrap the Looney Tunes movie?
They did scrap the Looney Tunes movie.
Holy shit.
Mr. Drought, you are correct. Yes, they scrapped. I forgot. They have the Looney Tunes.
Yeah, how they
freaking
Tom and Jerry, dude. How they have so much stuff that makes them money. Dude, Tom and Jerry, it may not be airing or making movies, but the merchandise still sells.
Oh my gosh,
crazy.
Absolutely. $37 billion in debt. And you have a Superman film that has, at best, mixed reactions, and best case scenarios needs $1 billion to break even. I maintain it does not pass 400. If it does, good for it, but I don't see it passing 400 million. It's certainly not going to hit 700 million. I don't see it hitting 700 million. I don't see it passing. I do not see it passing 400. I don't. Because there isn't anything of substance here.
Well, and it's not even it's okay. So if we're going by that, okay, I know some old heads, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this Gen Z on about?" But so if we're going by, kids and whatnot, so the Fortnite event right now is Superman. It's gonna be Superman in a couple of weeks, and it's one of the lower ones being reacted to. Hank Hill being added to Fortnite seems to have gotten more traction to that game than Superman.
Oh.
So far, it was only a trailer. Superman hasn't actually been added in. But if we're going by like the likes and stuff like that, yeah, Hank Hill, Propane, yeah, fucking had a little bit more hype on the first day of the trailers releasing for the Fortnite event and stuff like that. And that's just going like the mainstream, stuff. I don't even like Fortnite, but if we're going by just stuff like that, yeah. So, and you like they would have Fortnite like WB would have made some money from that.
Yep.
Fortnite, but still, it doesn't look good, man, for Superman, because if you don't have the kids who are excited for Superman, franchise is gonna die, man. Because we're gonna grow out of it soon. Once we're gone, who are the Superman fans?
Yep.
Who are the DC fans? It's not like anything good's being made. Yeah.
There isn't an excuse for this. Oh my god, they have the Terminator series too. What are you doing, Warner Brothers? Like,
do they actually own Terminator?
Yes, they own Terminator. So, okay, here we go. So this is per fandom wise. So it's like, take this with a grain of salt, okay? I didn't compile this. They have MonsterVerse, so we were right. Warner Brother franchises. Looney Tunes, Willy Wonka, DC, MonsterVerse,
the Lego movie,
Scooby-Doo. They got the Lego movies, Middle Earth, The Lord of the Rings. Okay, they've also got Harry Potter.
Yeah, which come on, that dominated.
We'll go alphabetical. Batman. Okay. They've got the Cinderella story going for them. DC, so they own all of DC Comics, DC Extended Universe, DC Universe, DC Extended Universe again, animated original movies, animated universe. They own the Dirty Harry films. They own Elmer Fudd because, again, he's Looney Tunes. Ex-Warner Brothers franchises. I'm not going to go into there. Let's see. Happy Feet. They own Happy Feet. They own Johnny Quest. They own House of Wax. They own Harry Potter. They have The Wizarding World, Willy Wonka, Tom and Jerry, I forgot. They have The Matrix. They've got The Matrix. They've got the Flintstones. They've got Tarzan. They've got the Lego. They've got the Lego movies. They've got
Scooby-Doo is them as well. Yeah, shit.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo is Warner Brothers. They've got Police Academy. I mean, they've got the National Lampoon films. They've got Mortal Kombat. They've got Middle Earth, MonsterVerse, Merry Melodies, Magic Mike, Mad Max is them. Like, what are they doing?
Dude, they should. I'm telling you, they need to sit down. DC separate room. Mad Max. Yeah.
Do they have the Rocky franchise? Isn't that them too?
I swear to fuck.
I don't know who made this roster. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna do some. Hold on.
They can't be
Rocky films. I'm just gonna put Rocky films.
Yeah.
We'll just click on the IMDb because that should be there. Surely they don't. Surely they do not own the Rocky films because they would be printing money if they did. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
MGM. Okay, I was gonna say. All right, so MGM doesn't have Rocky, or MGM has Rocky, but
who owns Rambo?
Creed belongs to Warner. The Creed.
Okay.
Like so, Creed, the secondary one, Apollo Creed's son with
that still makes money though.
Yeah, the Creed franchise made them money. What else? What did you say? Who owns the what?
Rambo. Yeah.
Oh, who does own Rambo? Let's see. So, according to, let's do. I want to say that is like Paramount or something, but I could be wrong. Na 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 na. Who owns you?
Who owns you? That's cut that out of context.
What?
Clip.
No, don't click that. Hold on.
Clip.
I gotta type in First Blood because it keeps trying to give me the new Rambo film, and I don't want the new Rambo film. Okay, First Blood, 1982. Why won't you tell me?
Wait, does WB own HBO?
Yes, they do. WB
Holy
owns.
fuck,
Yes,
they
they do.
do.
Yeah,
So they've
HBO
got
is
Game of
owned.
Thrones.
Yeah.
They got no, dude. This is actually the most. Me and Lethal have actually been saying this for a while. People have been I'm not saying people are hating too much on Disney. They get the hate that they deserve. People aren't looking at WB enough. People, I'm telling you right now, and I'm just coming from the gaming industry side of it, WB is making more and shittier mistakes than even Disney. I'm telling you right now,
Oh yeah, no,
WB is a
absolutely.
worse run company than even Disney. Fuck, even Blabs, she's been on it. She's been doing a great job at it too.
No, WB. I've been talking about this for ages. Like WB keeps
Yeah.
making emotional, stupid decisions because they're reactionary. That like something happens and they immediately like they either immediately go full in on it like they did with JJ and with James Gunn, or they completely like they implode and try to get away from it and trip over themselves on their exit. It's bad. It's
Well,
so bad.
they've already finished up with Mortal Kombat 1, their newest Mortal Kombat game. They're already moving on because it was a flop. Like, I've never seen a Mortal Kombat move on so quick in my life.
Yep.
You know, like, what? So, either they're making Injustice 3 or making Mortal Kombat 2, I guess now. I don't know what they're going to call the next Mortal Kombat game, but because they've reset the universe. I don't know why. But, yeah. Holy shit. WB is awful. It's fucking
Yes,
awful.
they've been making horrific decisions. Horrific decisions. So, Orion was the distributor for Rambo, and it is a subsidiary company for Orion Pictures, which has ties to. It won't tell me. It was folded into MGM. Okay, so Rambo also went to MGM, and so now Amazon owns that. But still, like, yes, WB owns a lot of stuff. They own HBO Max. They own Harry Potter. They own Lord of the Rings. They have the Monsterverse. They have Scooby Doo. They have Looney Tunes. They have oh my gosh. They have I cannot think. My brain. I remember a time where, do you remember, like, they've got Batman, they've got Superman, they've got Wonder Woman. Do you remember the Warner Brothers logo when, like, Bugs would pop out from behind it and chew on the carrot in his tuxedo, and you'd be like, oh, this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You don't feel, I don't feel that way anymore.
No. It's the same with you know, DVDs with the Disney, how they used to have the really cool intros and stuff. You don't get that, like, as a kid, that magic anymore as
Nope.
well.
Yeah.
It's missing in so many places. You don't. It's not cool to buy like DVDs, even on the streaming. It doesn't have that magic anymore. It's very corporate. Just next thing, consume. Next thing, everything doesn't feel passion anymore. It's just even the logos and stuff. They're all downgrading how cool it looks. They're trying to be like minimalist, and it just doesn't seem big and grand anymore. It seems small and shit, and it's just like, why would you do that to your movie? Make it seem as big as possible, you know? Hype it up. I mean, do some good writing too. Like, come on. Like, how do we have more budget for all these like advertising, but somehow it feels like less advertising? How are we seeing it less places with the
Because
advertising?
they're making stuff cost more. They're not, and
It's
plus,
just
I'm gonna be honest with you, advertising is not what it used to be either. Like, do you remember when back in, I would say, gosh, it probably hasn't been this way since Pirates. They're starting to get back into it with like the popcorn buckets, but popcorn
yeah.
buckets should not be what sells tickets. You know what I mean? And they're charging like $55 for these popcorn buckets. But it used to be like the marketing. It used to be WB wasn't ashamed of the fact that Superman was for children and adults, right? They used to not be ashamed of that fact. And so, but like when you would do marketing, I remember really well, like the Spider-Man movies, and I remember the Harry Potter films, and I remember the Pirates films, the Pirates of the Caribbean films, and Lord of the Rings, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't afraid to lean into that marketing. And so, like, kids' meals at McDonald's used to, like, it used to be, McDonald's was pushing your commercial and stuff like that. You would do ads for McDonald's or for Burger King or
the
for
Happy Meal shit.
Yeah,
Like you get
now, if you drive by, you might see like a character up in the window of McDonald's, but you don't see commercials for McDonald's advertising. You don't see it for Pepsi or for Coke or for Dr. Pepper.
The only time
Incredible Hulk
Yeah.
back in 2008. Do you remember Mountain Dew Incredible Hulk was everywhere? Commercials, radio spots.
Shrek. They had the special meal, right? You could literally get a green slushy and stuff like that, and it was like the Shrek meal and stuff like that. Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore, like often.
No.
The last time I can remember, and I might be wrong, it may have happened after, but do you remember the Minions? It was like the Minions meal at McDonald's. There was something for that, and that's the last time I remember it actually happening.
And the Minions belongs to Universal, and they make them money. That Universal, if there is a company who is actually like quietly making money, it's Universal, because they've got the Minions. They've got Gru and they've got the Minions, which are technically two separate IPs now. But they've got all the Dr. Seuss stuff, the Lorax, Horton Hears a Who, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Like, they have all of that stuff. Universal has all that stuff. So I'm sitting here wondering how Warner Brothers is floundering so hard and is $37 billion in debt. When you've got Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, the two most popular IPs on the planet, and you own HBO Max, which has Game of Thrones. Like, how?
Like it's so stupid. The amount of franchises that they could, you should be able to make one movie and have that fucking, what is going on, bro? Because it's not even like the movies look good, and they're not, you know what I mean? Like, they're not making CGI up, they're not testing anything, they're not beating anyone, and they're not, I don't know, they're not taking the industry forward, they're not doing anything. No. And it's like, where is this money going? That's why I think someone actually might be stealing the money, because it's just like, well, the CGI isn't good, the costumes aren't that great, the sets aren't that great. So
it's a lot of blue screen. You can tell with it's a huge amount of blue screen. Yeah, there's some practical effects in there, and James Gunn made this big spiel about it, but like, it's a lot of blue screen. You can tell, especially when Superman is flying. It's actually almost nauseating how warped it looks when Superman is flying. You are completely correct, Mr. Dro. A bunch of people from politics went into entertainment back in the 2010s, and it shows. Trailers got me more hyped for bad movies back in the day than they do for good movies nowadays. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even in 100%. The gaming industry, some games get fucked over by bad trailers. A good game that just came out, it was a remaster, but the Silent Hill 2. Great remake, great remaster, whatever you want to call it. And it got fucked over by a dog shit trailer. People don't know how to make trailers anymore, man. That's the thing. You know what was a good you know what actually tricked us? Fucking 28 years later. One of the best trailers I've ever seen, but apparently it's awful.
That movie was terrible. I actually hated that film. And that's another forgettable, it's another one. It's just like, I have no desire to see it again. We live in a different era where we grew up. We had terrestrial TV and cable kids now have lines, thousands of choices, and we had like 5 TV channels. Yeah, but even still, like most people, they're watching the same YouTubers. They're getting the same. Raid Shadow Legends sponsors pretty much everybody. Everybody knows Raid Shadow Legends. Like, that's the thing. Does the actor that plays Superman have a lazy eye? David Cornsweet does not have a lazy eye, to my knowledge.
The trailers make it look like it.
So this film was shot for 3D. It was shot for 3D and IMAX, and so they used a bubble lens. It's the same person that did the Flash cinematography, and that's why.
They should not have done that, because it does. It does look. It makes him kind of look like he has downs in a lot of those trailers.
It does, and it's better in the film, but it's still there, and also it's a shorter scene, so you don't actually get to see his face as long. So you can't really tell if it is actually struggling like it was in the trailer as much. But that is like this is where we've landed. Like this is where we are at like as a whole. People are like, "Oh, like it was way more fun than Man of Steel." Okay. Yes. If your idea of fun is genocidal Kryptonian supremacy, Jor-El and Lara, a stupid Ma and Pa Kent, Superman getting kicked in the balls and getting called a wuss and getting called a bitch to his face, being mocked and belittled by everybody around him and never controlling his emotions, then this movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah, at least when I walked out of the cinema for Man of Steel, I was like, you know what? I didn't like that film, but I could see a sequel after they get their shit together, which they never did.
Yeah.
Being good. You know what I mean? Like, I could see a future for it. And from the sounds of it, they've already fucked the future for this universe, and I have no interest in it. Because with universes and stuff, I'm pretty picky and whatnot. So I just think getting those characters so wrong, just using them as gags, right? Like using Supergirl as a gag, it just completely ruins a lot of those characters and stuff.
Yep.
It's just
and
like
everybody's like, no, he can fix it in the next movie. He can, like, no, I think that's a great lead into Supergirl because she's tortured. Because remember, she's older than Superman, and so she actually saw her planet get destroyed, and she remembers it. And so she's, even though she's technically older because of what she went through and how she survived and went into space and all this stuff. And you're like, okay, here's what I need you to understand. Again, here's my point. If you need other films to fix your first film, you have fucked up. Because here's the thing. There's a difference between like a cliffhanger or a lead-in and straight up screwing up the story and having to retcon your own story in the next film. Those are two different things. James Gunn did not do the first one. He's going to need to do the second one, and he hasn't earned it. He didn't nail this film. He didn't nail it, and he doesn't deserve a second chance because this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. You have to earn it every time. You cannot assume that that you are entitled to it just because you're Warner Brothers or just because you're James Gunn or just because it's Superman. You have to earn it.
No, I agree with that because how much money they have invested in it, this is where it's going to be they like chucking money away or they're stealing from the business. If they get him to make another film, they are definitely just wanting to throw money away. I don't know why, before tax or something, they just like throwing money away because the amount of money they have put in this film, it should not fail. I'm sorry, you should have someone so fucking good and trustable more than James fucking Gunn just because he made your one good show. And I don't even think it is a good show. Fucking Peacekeeper, right? Penguin
and Creature Commando, which is also terrible.
I know it's in development hell, and I actually think it's James Gunn who's made it in development hell. That's my theory. That's my
I agree.
You know what I mean? I think it's actually James Gunn who's made Batman 2 in development hell. I honestly believe that. I would invest a lot more money into him, especially after, as much as I didn't like it, I can still see a universe where I like a lot of their stuff, right? The I did like the overall universe for Batman in that film, like the
Yeah.
2018, was it 2018? I forgot what year
I
it
think
comes out.
I think so. Yeah, 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I liked the overall universe. I'd
Oh.
invest more into that universe. And then the show
No,
just
no. The
made me
Batman was 2022. The Batman,
2022.
yeah, Batman came out. The Batman came out in 2022.
Holy shit, 2022. Jesus. Yeah, that I would invest in that universe way more than fucking James Gunn, dude. Like, it's dumb. It's actually dumb.
Yeah, it
And
is.
to
But
even have two universes going at the same time is stupid in itself. Because soon James Gunn is gonna need a Batman. You can't do the DCEU without Batman, so he's gonna need a Batman anyway. So you've had two Batmans in the next so quick to each other. Like what? People are gonna get confused. People aren't gonna follow along, and it's gonna end up hurting DC a lot.
Yeah, it's because they're indecisive, and they think so. Like, here is the difference. So, what 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 DC Warner Brothers needed back in the day was a backup plan. Like, if people don't receive um Snyder's Superman well, we need a backup plan. Like, the fact that Aquaman broke the $1 billion mark should tell you exactly what your customers are looking for. Exactly what they're looking for. They want heroic men doing heroic shit and apparently half naked when they do it, because Jason Momoa had his shirt off like several times in that movie. Okay? And say what you will, Amber Heard is crazy, but at least in that movie, she is very attractive, except for the fake wig. That was terrible. But, like, your customers keep telling you, your paying customers keep telling you what we want. And DC is just refusing to give it. So back in the day, they should have had like a backup plan where, okay, we're like, this is what's happening. So Snyder, go ahead and lead with your take Affleck, do your Batman, but with Superman, we're gonna go a different direction with somebody a little bit more hopeful or a little bit more you need a freaking Boy Scout is what you need. You need a Boy Scout to write Superman. And so I honestly, everybody makes fun of me for this. But have you ever seen the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle film?
Yes, I have.
To this day, that is still my favorite comic book movie ever. It's the best, in my humble opinion, best comic book film ever. Okay? I think that you should get Steve Barron to direct a Superman film. And I say this because he is knowledgeable, he cares, he's capable, he's getting up there in age. He's like 70 years old, okay? So, I mean, it's not terrible, especially now because people are like working well into their 80s, right? But there is something else that he has in his back pocket that nobody else actually has. Do you know what that is?
A brain?
A brain? Yeah, he's got one of the. So, you know what? Laughed. But yes. No. So, we talked about it earlier, right? Richard Donner's Superman. Guess who worked on that film?
He did?
He was on the film crew for Richard Donner's Superman.
Huh.
He was there.
So he would have experience.
He has first-hand experience and knowledge of Richard Donner's Superman, of the quintessential Superman, of the embodiment of Superman.
Mm-hmm.
So
he has.
why they're not hiring Steve Barron to come and direct their... he doesn't necessarily have to write, okay, but I know he can find a good writer. But why they aren't contacting him to direct their Superman film is a mystery to me. It really, truly is. I can't believe that they haven't at least reached out. He also did... he's done like a ton of music stuff, so he has a very similar background to Michael Bay. He's done tons of like production and directing for like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know, when you actually had music videos for music. He's done a ton of music videos. He's done tons of music documentaries, and stuff like that. So he has... I mean, that's why the score for TMNT is perfect. Like, if you remember from the TMNT film, that score is literal perfection. It's a whole other character
It is good.
on its own. It's so good. Because he knows what he's doing. He has that background, right? And he's done tons of other stuff. Like he did... I don't remember if he directed or if it was something else. But it was he did the Coneheads. Like the comedy show from like the comedy film way back when, and from like 93 or whatever, 95, whenever it came out. He did Coneheads, which is like a cult classic, and it's hilarious. He directed Arabian Nights. He did the TV series Merlin. Yeah, Merlin. He did Merlin back in the day, like the good one. So I'm not sure why they haven't reached out, because he still is an active director and producer. But DC should really genuinely consider reaching out to Steve. I mean, what do they got to lose? They already gave $500 million to JJ and got nothing for it.
Yeah.
I mean this for real. Kevin Davis, people are rooting for James Gunn to get a win at the box office with the audience. Domestic box office will carry this film at the box office. International numbers going to have to improve. Kevin, we just looked at the projections, and it needs to improve in both the domestic and international. And this film, best case scenario, Kevin, needs $1 billion to break even. If it had a $400 million budget, it needs $1 billion to break even. And that's including... We broke this down. Best case scenario, this film only cost $400 billion between marketing and production. Every production side and marketing side combined together for a total of $400 million. It needs $1 billion to break even. $1 billion with a B. And James Gunn doesn't even think that this thing is going to hit $700 million. So that's a problem. I don't think this thing cracks 400. I don't. So it is what it is. We'll see at the end. Maybe this film makes $2 billion and Gunn will like run away with the rest of the DC universe that he wants to build. But I don't see it happening. And how Warner Brothers could be this cavalier when they're $37 billion in debt, I have no idea. Yes, I think that the 1990 I think that the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is better than Spider-Man 2. Yes, exactly. We talked about that too. Aquaman made $1.14 billion at the box office and made like $32 million in DVD and Blu-ray sales. And Hollywood shot themselves in the foot when they went to streaming. So, Maza, what do you have going on? What's coming up? How you feeling? Not gonna go see Superman?
No, I'm gonna wait. Because I gotta drive 2.5 hours to go to a cinema. That's the closest cinema. So it needs to be something big. It needs to be something legendary, like the Minecraft movie. For me to go and see it, because it's a bit of a drive, bit of a hike, bit of a walk. Barefoot walk. I reckon 2-hour drive.
2-hour drive.
barefoot walking step. But yeah, Gronk Squad. We're doing a new video. It's going to be a Minecraft series coming out. We're going to be doing that. It's very well edited, kind of like a early YouTube when people used to actually edit videos, make it funny. It's going to have a high energy, funny as shit. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers over there to get that cheeky monetization. We play a lot of other games, not just Minecraft. We tested out the new Space Marine mode, the Horde mode. We loved it. We just try a lot of different games because we do a gaming talking podcast as well, but we also do we play the games as well. That's quite different from a lot of other people.
Mm-hmm. It's good
So,
stuff.
yeah.
I have fun. I do enjoy popping over there, but it always seems like I get there and then you guys go crazy. You start talking about some insane stuff, and I'm just like, well, I literally was just like, at one point I was like, hey guys, you definitely won't regret it. Get your sub in, and that was. I regretted that moment. Just kidding. I'm kidding. But not really. But Mazza, I thought you said you were trying to get to 500 subscribers.
So that's on our Gronk Squad one. Sorry, I'll grab the link for that. So we have the Gronking Gaming, which is our gaming podcast, but Gronk Squad is where we play the games.
My bad.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
Here's Gronk Squad.
Yeah. And that's where we play the games because we kind of separated the channels, just one for the news and one for the actual gaming. Kept it separate, but yeah, we're doing like series, kind of like old school YouTube, how Markiplier used to do it, and not just live streams. We do live streams as well, but we like editing and actually making shit. It's good fun, and there's a lot of series on there, a lot of videos, different games, a lot. We don't just play the biggest AAA games. We try and show some indie games, try and show some double A's as well. We bunch of different stuff. Survival games, first person shooters, you name it, we've probably played it. It's good stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you for hanging out for like 3.5 hours. I
was literally eating lunch and I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you want to come talk box office? Because guys, remember, like, we did the math. I pulled out the calculator and I showed you. I'm not pulling these numbers out of thin air. So best case scenario, at $400 million on the nose budget, it needs $1 billion to break even. But the numbers that we have based on official tax document numbers, they actually need over $1.5 billion to break even. That's insane. So Moz, thank you for coming on and chit-chatting. It's always fun. It's always a good time.
WB.
I appreciate you.
Do you?
Chat, I do, really. I genuinely appreciate you. Okay? I really, truly do. But chat, you remain undefeated. You are fantastic. I love you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for spending your valuable time, and some of you spent Raider, and even though Mazza doesn't want me to say it, but Mazza Salmanaka,
that guy's a weirdo, man. That's actually my son.
That I don't believe. I don't believe anybody has procreated with you, Mazza. Sorry. But
wow.
I appreciate the super chats, the super sticker, spending your valuable but especially your valuable time. It really means a lot. I genuinely appreciate it. You chat remains undefeated, and I will have, hopefully my video review will be out tomorrow.
Make sure you watch it.
Yeah, my Out of the Theater live reaction is on the channel. That live stream, I dropped that Tuesday, so there's heavy spoilers in there. We didn't really get into spoilers in here, but I spoil everything in that other live stream. So, as always, thank you God bless. Much love. And have a fantastic night and weekend. Bye.
Bye.
Fly, you fools! I have been, and always shall be,